This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Husker Nation, now is the time.
Holy moly! Man, woman, and child did that. Put them in the aisle.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
Does he have enough? Is it long enough?
It's going to be tipped and caught. It's caught. How many tackles can one man break? He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's on the way.
Totally unbelievable.
It's game day in Lincoln, America, and this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is powered by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Advanced Medical Imaging, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Game Day in Lincoln, Nebraska. Huskers against USC in 3.5 hours right now at Memorial Stadium. NBC for that game. He is Steve Sipple. I'm Jake Sorensen. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Sip, how are you on this night game today?
It's a big one, Jake.
Night
It feels
day.
big. It feels big.
Woo.
You have your black on.
I do.
I do.
I have a quick story about that.
Yes, I'd like to hear it. You have a basketball jersey.
If you're watching, by the way, you can comment as always on the text line 402-464-5685, Twitter, YouTube. Also, we're always welcome to comment. I did a little bit of a shopping spree before the show.
You did.
It was a failed shopping spree. So I came down to downtown Lincoln about 1:30.
Okay.
Early for me. I used to get here about a half hour before the pregame show,
Okay.
no matter what the time. If it's 8 a.m. pregame show, noon, 11, 3 o'clock, pretty much a half hour routinely I'm here before the show. I came down because I was in the search for a black stocking cap.
Okay.
I stopped at our friends at Alumni Hall. I stopped at a friends at Rally House / Best of Big Red. I stopped at the From Nebraska gift shop. And I'm not mad at any of these places because they had black stocking caps. I was there too late to get them.
Sold out.
So I got this red one.
Oh, now I don't know if you can do that.
All right. Well, it's got black in it.
I don't know if you can do that.
I need to have my ears protected from the cold. If that sounds weak, that's fine.
You have a hoodie on.
This is how we're going apparently tonight. Like that.
You can go hoodie.
I'm going to have the red stocking cap covered by the hoodie. That's my plan. I will have it on to protect the ears. I will have the hoodie on beyond that.
That's fine.
So it's not as visible, but I'm not also freezing out here, all right?
I think you're fine. I do.
I told you I'm going to be in the stand.
You're getting mad for nothing.
I know.
Calm down.
That happens a lot. I'm a Dolphins fan.
Now, hold on. I think if you put on your red stocking cap and pull the hoodie over it, you'll be fine. In terms of not going against the blackout. That's what we're talking about. There's a blackout tonight. If you haven't heard, everybody, there's a blackout.
If you haven't heard, I'm concerned about your well-being or if you are aware of anything in society, but that's okay.
Everybody's fine.
Yeah.
I'm looking around outside right now. We are on 11th and P.
11th and O. Thank you. This is still, it has been 11th and O. It is still 11th and O. We are still right here.
We're on 11th and O. And most, I'd say 85% of the people I see right now are wearing black. All black. Black is dominant. So that's good.
I have seen actually I am proud of USC. I've seen a lot of Trojan fans out here in the maroon.
Yep.
And I'm proud that they showed up. This is a cold game for them. Now, I was outside walking around, and you pointed out I have my Mindles on, my Mindle boots.
Yeah, they look good.
Right now, a little warm, a little sweaty in the feet, but I think by game time, it'll be proper temperature.
Yeah, we went different footwear. I went with Skechers and no socks. You went with boot, but I'm not sitting outside.
No, you're not. I will be outside in the elements. Again, no rain, no snow, very, very low wind. It's just going to be fighting the chilliness out there, which actually – that's USC fans and players should be happy about that.
I think so. Now, what happens when the sun goes down, however? If it feels like it did at 9 a.m. this morning, my thought at 9 a.m. was, this might be an advantage for Nebraska. It was chilly. I had to I mean, I had to put a different coat on and all that. And I was walking bullet outside, and I thought, okay, this might be a factor. Now, then the sun came out and it got up into 40s, and I thought, okay, maybe not as big a factor as I thought. But then the sun is going to go down because it does that, right?
Yes.
The sun will go down.
The sun does go down.
And it does that. And it will, I think, be something of an advantage for Nebraska.
And this, our friend Bill Bush from Early Break will be very happy because tonight is when daylight saving time happens. So it'll be dark by 5 p.m. tomorrow. So tonight you'll get to save yourself an hour of sleep after a night game. That's nice.
Yeah.
But also won't be nice because you'll be outside at 5:15 tomorrow and say, why is it pitch black? Yeah, because of daylight savings time.
Pitch
so
black.
Enjoy the last day you have before winter officially sets in.
Breakers
stopping by. And, hopefully you enjoy that with a win this evening against the USC Trojans.
Right.
That'd be nice.
Yes. It's going to be tough now. This is a tough
Never
one.
said it wasn't going to be tough.
No.
Agreed.
Now, where do you want to start with all this?
Well, I do want to start with this. I've been thinking, people have been asking me, my friends have been asking me, hey, Jake, what are your honest thoughts on this game? And I go back to what we have said on the show, Early Break, all week long. And like, if this game were played in September, either at USC or in Lincoln, I feel very strongly about USC winning the football game.
Yes.
Very strongly.
Yes.
Either or.
Mm-hmm.
Neutral site in Lincoln, in California, I'm taking the Trojans. We talked to Ryan Abraham, USCfootball.com publisher and writer on Friday. He said, listen, you said 38 degrees is not cold. It's like, that is cold to us. To USC, 38 degrees is cold. They stink on the road. They are a better football team on a neutral site in perfect weather. In a dome, you take USC.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not windy. I know it's not rainy. I know it's not overly cold. It is cold for a Californian here today in Lincoln.
It is.
So
I believe that.
I have started to feel a lot better about Nebraska's chances to win this evening because of simply the fact of what he said. Like, they suck on the road and they suck in any type of cold.
No.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you expect positivity over here this afternoon?
I said what I said. I thought this morning when I was out, I thought, okay, yeah, this does probably work in Nebraska's favor. They're not going to like this feeling in the air. And I think you might be onto something a little bit. It seems like a little grasping. I'm more about how's Donovan Jones going to hold up against their receivers. How's Rex Guthrie going to hold up against their tight ends?
Which is a fair thing to say.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more about that than vibe, than weather, than now. But that doesn't mean. I mean, I listen to Bill Bush daily, and vibe is important, and that weather can be a factor, more of a factor for some teams than others. And I would add to this conversation something about Matt Rule that I really like. He is an outdoor practice coach. They spend most of their time outdoors. You can't say that about all Nebraska coaches of the past.
Nope.
I mean, Bo Pelini wasn't more of an indoor guy. Frost was definitely more of an indoor guy. Rule is an outdoor coach. I mean, he takes them outside. And it's for reasons like this. When November comes, you're not in a comfortable environment.
Correct.
So yeah, that works in Nebraska's favor. Not only that USC practices when it's 80 degrees and sunny, but also that Nebraska is mindful about being outdoors when it's bad out. It's their practice sometimes when it's sleeting, and they'll go out. So there you go, Jake.
Well,
we'll see.
And again, this is why we talk about this is important for the sake of Nebraska fans believing in several things, because we have said this a lot, and you cannot overstate these facts. Nebraska since 2019 is 5-19 in November, right?
5-19 November,
and you're trying to figure out, okay, Matt Rule just gets extended for 2 more years to 2032, so he's ideally out of any sort of job search this time.
This year, yeah.
This cycle. You want to believe this thing is trending the positive way. Now, again, a check mark is in the right place because you are bowl eligible prior to November. That's good. The schedule indicated that should happen, and they have done so. That's a check. The next check sip is winning games in November, which Bill Callahan once told you what?
The games to remember are the games in November.
Thank you.
Yes.
And USC, again, we all know 28 straight losses to ranked teams. Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's been since 2016.
Right.
Like this game is so big for both teams. I'm going to start with Nebraska first. Number one, it's the rank streak. Snap that. If they're not 10th, they're not 5th, they're 23rd. They're barely ranked. They're not in a lot of teams' rankings.
Right.
A lot of people's rankings. They're a good team, not a great team, and they're going to cold weather.
Right.
It's important for Matt Rule to back up. I got an extension. Like I'm going to lead this team to a big victory and get to 7-2.
He's 18-15
and still be on the fringe conversation of the playoff, because if they go 4-0 this month, they're still in the playoff talk at 10-2, right?
Yeah.
So all that's in play for USC. It's important to say we can win away from home in November, going east, and we can win in the cold.
Well, they can stay in the playoff race, right?
Absolutely.
And now Nebraska is in it. I mean, they're in it right now. Now I'll get serious about that talk if Nebraska beats USC and if they beat UCLA. I don't need a 4-0 November. I'll be in that. I'll start looking at that more closely if they win these next two.
Fair.
It is. Yeah, there's a ton of reasons this is a big game for Nebraska, but it is a big, what I would call buy-in game. People buy into the program if they can finally close down a win like this. And it's tough. I mean, I know what you're saying about USC. This isn't vintage USC, but it is the number one offense in the country. The numero uno offense in the country. Number one passing offense. It's averaging 42.4 points a game. High-level quarterback, high-level skill. And now they got an offensive line. So that's what you're worried about, right? It's not their defense. It's what are they going to do offensively? Can Nebraska hold them to a reasonable number?
Yeah. And again, Nebraska has been very good this year in pass defense. Rush defense, not so much. Now, to your point, they have been good in both parts. They can run the ball well, and they pass the ball well. Mekhi Lemon is a dude. He's probably the best receiver in the Big Ten Conference.
48 catches.
Yes, we get the black jerseys outside.
Yeah,
Look at that.
48
catches.
48. Look at the young fellas.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I got the catch there. He threw me a pass.
Look at the young fellas. You got Sierra Wright's number on.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah. But 48 catches for Mekhi Lemon. He's 5'11", 195. When he tries out of the tunnel, he's not going to look like it. You're not going to go, oh, God, look at number 8. Or he's number 6. He's number 6. You're not going to say, oh, God, look at number 6. But then look at his numbers and then watch what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's 48 catches, okay?
Yes.
He's their go-to guy. The next guy's got 24 catches, Jacoby Lane.
Yeah.
Number 8. He's number 8. Those are the two guys.
So, but I don't think Nebraska, correct me if I'm wrong, has faced a threat like Mekhi Lemon this year so far. For a team that has been exceptional against the pass, pretty much all through 8 games. They have not seen the likes of a potential, most likely an all Big Ten first team receiver in Mekhi Lemon.
Right.
But you like what you see with Sierra Wright, Andrew Marshall, and the safeties. Can they step up and have the great games they've been having all season long? That's key tonight.
Oh, I think the key guys are who I identified earlier. They're going to, Jake, I mean, that's going to be very real. They're going after 37, okay?
Donovan Jones.
Yeah, they will go right after him. They'll go, watch their tight ends getting downfield. Now, Rex Guthrie is a redshirt freshman. I mean, this is big for a guy like that.
It is.
I mean, this is not, you're not messing around. These are very defining games, I mean, every game is defining to a certain extent, but like Bill always says, Bill Bush, some more than others. This is big. And it adds to it that the head coach just signed a contract extension.
Back that up.
Right.
Prove that was worthwhile. Build on momentum. Like that's exciting for the fan base to know that Penn State could have called for him. They say they haven't called for him, but there's obviously conversation that they were going to go hard after Matt Rule. That's not happening. He's sticking around. Prove that this season is going to be something that you finish strong and build on. And let's make this a positive conversation instead of there's some negative conversation about the extension saying, really, what has he done to justify that? Let's move that all into a almost entirely positive situation by winning this game and building on that in the month of November.
These
are not impossible things, Sip.
The November record is big. It's big both in a sort of a global sense, and then just that Rule is 1-7 here. That has to start to change. And there's no reason it can't. Now, it doesn't. It also, we have to not get too caught up in the moment. If they lose today, it doesn't mean that November's lost. It's not. It's not that kind of. This is. I think you have more confidence in this team than that. That not all is lost if they lose this game.
No, but this is, Iowa could be a ranked team by the time you play them, but this is your last chance in a ranked win this season, unless Iowa.
That's big.
Because I keep saying Iowa. If Iowa is ranked by the time you play them, they have had in the month of November then wins at home against Oregon and wins likely at USC.
Yeah.
And that's a good luck type of game then if they are ranked.
Right. In Iowa, by the way, people don't like to hear this, but we mentioned Nebraska's November record since 2019. Iowa's is 23-3 in the month of November. So you got to start getting to that, right?
Yes. I mean,
those teams like Iowa and Wisconsin and Minnesota have sort of trumped you in that in the late fall.
I mean, we always mock, and Nebraska fans are, they mock the lack of offense that Iowa has. But hey, results matter. They win in the months that Bill Callahan said are the ones to remember. They win in November, and you can blast Deacon Hill you want. Deacon Hill came to Lincoln and beat Nebraska 2 years ago. Like, they have found ways to. Last year they were down 10-0 beginning the fourth quarter, and Caleb Johnson has an epic run. He breaks like 45 tackles for a touchdown. They win in overtime. They win that game at the end, not overtime, excuse me, at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, it's the same story. The same story cannot keep happening.
Change it
for this program. Change the story.
How do you change it?
The script.
How do you change it today? What's the path to victory in Jake Sorensen's mind?
Well, I think that you ride the hot hand of Emmett Johnson offensively. Emmett Johnson has got to get 20 plus carries and touches upwards of 30. I'm not saying it's 10 catches. That's a lot, but he needs to get targets. Think about last year, Sip. This was the first game last year when Dana Holgorsen was the OC for Nebraska, was at USC. And we said, wow, Emmett Johnson's involved in the passing game for the first time really all season.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see that under Marcus Satterfield. Some, but he was really important that game. A game they lost, but he was important to them in moving the football. And I still think, I go back to last game, that key drive to go win the football game. The first 3rd and 7 was a route to Emmett Johnson, a little out route. He got it for a first down right at the marker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's got to be involved in the passing game. He's got to get 20 plus carries. Like, he's second in the conference in rushing yards. He's fifth in the country.
Right.
Use that guy.
Yeah, he's got 897 yards right now. He's almost certain to get 1,000. Now, I agree with you completely. If that's what you want to see early, right? Emmett Johnson on first down, getting appreciable gains, you don't want to be 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 10 all the time. Okay. So that's big. Now I will say this on behalf of Nebraska's offense and what Rule's done. If they are bottling up Johnson, I don't think it's the end of the story. They have enough offensively that they can piece together enough, I think, to make it work. But it's got to be that your best chance is if Emmett Johnson runs 25 times for, I'll say, he needs to get 125 minimum, like that kind of game. Because why? Why are we talking about this? Because they probably got to minimize USC possessions. If you're 3 and out a lot and you're just punting it to USC, good luck. You can't have it. The game could get out of control that way. Now, on the other hand, I don't want to give USC. I don't want to make them out to be something they're not. You're right. They're number 23. They're not number 3. They're number 23. They can be had. I watched the whole game against Illinois. My thought throughout that whole game, that was back in September on the bye week, was on Nebraska and play with these guys. And I still believe that. Now, what concerns you, Jake, is they did bully Michigan, both sides.
They did. That was the home game.
Yeah, up front on both sides, they beat them up. Now, that's what gets my attention. That causes me the biggest concern. That USC bullied Michigan. You saw Michigan how Nebraska was bullied by Michigan. USC bullied Michigan. You got to watch that. Those guys up front really got to come for a fist fight tonight.
Yeah, and again, you would hope that, like I said earlier, you agree with this? If this was in September,
mm-hmm.
I feel very strongly USC wins this football game.
Yeah. What if it was here?
Yeah.
Feel better?
I know. I feel like they still win the football game. I think in any sort of nice weather, they are a better team.
Yeah.
But weather matters. And
it does.
We don't think this is overly cold because in Nebraska, this is not overly cold.
Mm-hmm.
And someone points out that when they came in 07, it wasn't the warmest night. Well, they were a great football team at that point. They were number one team in the country.
Numero uno.
They had so
Different
much
country.
talent. It was ridiculous. They were loaded, beyond loaded. This team is good. Oh, they're a good football team. But this team would get waxed by 07 USC, and they know it.
Oh, yeah. They're not nearly as good up front as that team. That team was ungodly good along the lines of scrimmage. Plus, had all the skill. Yeah, I mean, they were in a dominant run for that program, so that's a little different.
Well, envision this storyline. So I know
a USC fan. By the way?
There's been several USC fans.
No, was that a USC fan who said that?
No,
that 207 comment.
No, that was not.
That was a Husker fan
who was at the game and didn't like what they saw that night.
It was rough. It's rough.
Think about this. Now we talk about November and the optics of what this season could look like and the future could look like. Let's say I keep my positivity rolling here.
Okay.
And Nebraska comes out tonight, and Emmett has a huge game, and they rush for 150 plus, maybe 200 yards, and they are the more physical team. What does that change your outlook for the season or for November if they were to win the football game and be no doubt the more physical football team?
Change it. It would change it. It would have to change it right on the heels of a horrifying loss at Minnesota and then squeaking by Northwestern. You'd be maybe a little confused, actually, in a good way, right? If you're a Nebraska fan. If Nebraska were to bludgeon USC on the heels of losing big at Minnesota and getting shoved around and then kind of squeaking by Northwestern, there'd be some confusion, but it'd be good kind of confusion, and it's the kind of confusion you want. It'd be a little confusing because Nebraska fans aren't used to seeing Nebraska succeed in November. They're not used to seeing Nebraska ascend. Keep getting better. Keep getting better.
What a notion.
Yeah, keep getting better as the season goes on. You know what we haven't seen? You know what we don't talk about on our show. We didn't talk about it this week for some reason. We haven't seen Nebraska put it all together. I don't even know when the last time Nebraska did put it all together. Put it all together. Play a game where you walk away going, you know what? They put it all together.
Maybe against Akron this year.
Yeah, maybe
68-0.
Yeah, but does that count? All three phases,
quality power 4 team.
Yeah, where you're like, man, they were clicking on all cylinders.
Could I sell you on 2021 Northwestern 56-7 in Lincoln?
Yeah, you could sell.
The only good thing in a bad 3-9 season.
Yeah, you could sell me on that 100%.
4 years ago.
Yeah,
a 3-9 football season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could definitely sell me on that one. Like you couldn't sell me on Cincinnati. Like I don't think they were clicking on all cylinders against Cincinnati.
No, they weren't.
It was a good win, but I want to see. But wouldn't that be something if we saw Nebraska hitting on all cylinders tonight? Right?
It'd be great. Yeah. On prime time, in the blackout, with the nation watching.
Yeah. All three phases play well.
The ranked skid streak.
Yeah. All three phases play well is basically what I'm saying. Do
you want some score updates real quick?
I really do. Okay. Especially at the top of the list.
Okay. Well, we did have an upset right before we went on the airwaves. SMU takes down number 10 Miami in overtime, 26-20.
Okay, that's big. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where people were talking about Miami as a possible national title team. They're out.
And don't. That's not. SMU's been down this year. SMU was a playoff team last year, so it's not like it's a horrendous loss for Miami to go on the road and lose to them.
No,
they still have their quarterback Kevin Jennings. They have Lashley just got an extension yesterday, and they win the football game. Could be a sign for Nebraska, right?
What else?
Other games right now happening. Texas. So you thought Texas blew out Vanderbilt because you stopped paying attention to that game. Mm-hmm. They were blowing them out. They did win the football game. This was 34-10 at one point. Mm-hmm. Vanderbilt storms back and does recover an onside kick. Then the replay shows it was on the out-of-bounds line.
Oh, boy.
So it goes to Texas. Texas wins 34-31.
Oh, God.
Well, so they win the game.
Good win by Texas.
Potential upset happening. This was an FSP on Friday. Virginia Tech leads my boy, Jeff Brom in Louisville, 16-7 late second quarter.
Okay.
At home,
plenty of time.
In Blacksburg. Indiana up 7-3 at Maryland early second quarter. I think that'd be about 21 zip by now, but 7-3.
7-3 Indiana.
Notre Dame only up 6-0 early second quarter at 1-7 Boston College. Strange. Virginia up 10 zip at Cal. K-State up 7-0 on 13th ranked Texas Tech. Ohio State, you walked in, you're peacocking around saying, who's number one, Jake? And you said that because Ohio State beat Penn State 38-14.
Wait a second. I was peacock.
You're peacock.
Yeah, I was peacock.
He said, hey, Jake, Who's number one?
Who's number one?
Who's number one?
There's one number team in the land. There's one number one team.
I'm just saying, I can't wait for Indiana, Ohio State in the Big Ten title game, which will happen.
We'll see what Indiana does at Maryland, but the Stool does their rankings of the Big Ten every week. You guys said Indiana. I'm very staunch that Ohio State is the best team in the country. They are the only best team. And
right now, you'll probably win on Tuesday. Our power rankings probably go your favor.
We'll see what Indiana does.
Upset. West Virginia beats Houston on the road, 45-35. Big win for Rich Rodriguez.
God, dang.
At 45 on the road at Houston, and then in the Big Ten specifically, I think Illinois took down Rutgers. Final score was 35-13. Right now, Minnesota up 10-0 at home on Michigan State. That game's on BTN. Before I get out of here, official prediction sip for Nebraska USC tonight. Huskers are up down to 4.5 point underdogs to the Trojans.
I need to see it before I pick Nebraska. I need to see them. I need to see this sort of win before I routinely pick them. I think USC has too much firepower offensively. I just don't think that Nebraska can close that down. I don't have to totally close it down. I just don't think they can score with them. So I'll say 34-27 USC. Yeah, I'm picking USC.
The king of pessimism is not you. It's me. The king of pessimism is feeling optimistic tonight.
Good. I'm glad.
I just saw Rhett Lashley after extension win a game against Miami, a ranked team. Matt Rule wants to get this monkey off his back about November. Struggling against ranked teams. Nebraska's got the blackout. Huskers get this one done. This is going to be a victory. There will be an FSP in Lincoln. Fans are storming around 10:15 tonight.
Okay.
Nebraska wins this football game 27-24.
Okay. That would be
USC is not terrible in the game, but you can tell the cold bothers them. 27-24. Nebraska, as me, the pessimistic one,
think about
is picking a dub for the Big Red or the Big Black tonight.
The Big Black. Now think about the ramifications if they win that game. 7-2, 4-2 in the league, going out to UCLA next week. Now you start to think about, okay, now hold on, what could this season produce, right? Especially if we didn't even mention a quarterback.
Dylan Raiola is his name.
Dylan's going to have to find some rhythm, I think, in this game, particularly in the red zone. Jake, I know we got to get out of here. I'll close my thoughts on this. USC's defense is not great, but it's great in the red zone. They're number 2 in the country in the red zone in defense. Nebraska has struggled in the red zone. You're going to have to close out drives and not turn it over down there. They're long.
Yes.
There's a couple guys on that defense that really scare me in the context of Dylan. He's got to avoid those crushing picks. So here we go.
It's a win for Nebraska and the blackout. We're going to party. We're sending over to Jay and Nick at the Kinder. More of the pregame show next on 937 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lane. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at ColliganHuskers.com. That's ColliganHuskers.com. Colligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Baumgars is hosting a ladies' night this Sunday from 5 to 8 p.m. Stop into your local Baumgars store for a special shopping event. Ladies will receive a 20% off discount from regular price on their purchases and can enter to win gift cards. Plus, a portion of the evening's proceeds will be donated to local cancer centers, hospitals, and women's shelters. So mark your calendar for the Baumgars Ladies' Night this Sunday from 5 to 8 p.m. We hope to see you there.
Come watch the Lincoln Stars on November 7th as the Fargo Force come to town for $5 Friday. That means $5 mezzanine tickets, $5 nachos, $5 mixed drinks, and $5 off a purchase of $20 or more. It's $5 Friday with the Lincoln Stars at the Icebox on Friday, November 7th versus the Fargo Force. Get your tickets today at LincolnStars.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Crinkle-cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging.
Welcome back. It is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show as Nebraska gets ready for the USC Trojans. This segment sponsored by our friends at Advanced Medical Imaging. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the very same day. Call today, 402-261-1085, or you can go online to amimaging.com.
TicketTailgate.com. Nick Sainert alongside Jay Foreman. Jay, it's a little bit of a chillier one. It's only going to get a little colder as kickoff nears, and it's going to be a fun time in Memorial Stadium this evening.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere. I mean, it's a night game in Lincoln, and there's nothing like it. And then you get a name brand opponent that you hopefully get to take over behind the woodshed and beat them. Get your first victory against a ranked team in quite some time. A lot on the line. I feel like it's winner take all, and those are the games you come to Nebraska for. It's a great recruiting weekend.
Yeah.
It's a great weekend also for the ticket, whereas we're able to continue to dominate the airways.
That's true.
Because we're going to have a lot of good content after this game.
I mean, we are.
And
okay, that's a good place to start because there's been a lot of people up in arms about the whole blackout thing. The whole it's the sea of red and everything like that. We know all the optics of it and what people are going to say. My biggest thing all week, though, Jay, and you and I are going to be on the post game show immediately after the final whistle.
Right.
Hopefully, talking about a Nebraska win.
Yeah.
If Nebraska wins or loses, we're not going to be talking about the blackout. It's going to be about the X's and O's. It's going to be about the fun. Nebraska's not winning or losing based on what the stadium does, based on what they wear. They're not. At the end of the day, that means nothing in terms of the Nebraska win or loss.
Yeah, when they were all white up in Minnesota is not the kryptonite. Now, look, over time when Nebraska's broken tradition, it has not worked out well. And, whether it's painting the end black and changing the end zone, at the end of the day, you could, however you feel about it is you're right to your opinion, but it's not going to change anything. And the only thing that really makes it okay is Nebraska wins. And it's going to come down to X's and O's. It's going to come down, execution, who wants it more and who plays the win. It's a great look. The most important thing is this is finally a situation. You get a home game against a ranked team, a low-ranked team. So it's not like you're playing, number 1 Ohio State or number 4
6
Georgia or Indiana. You get a chance to go in front of your home crowd, a night game. Whether once it's below 55 works in your favor. Will continue to get cooler and to change the way that the ball is going to be able to be gripped. And so everything is lined up for you to knock it out of the park. And so, it's going to be interesting to see outside of the sea of black what Nebraska does to them Trojans. What Nebraska does to those Trojans. It's getting colder as you guys are walking past.
There you have it. Okay, so with that, Jay, what does that look like today? I mean, what is you say it plays into your favor. Yeah. What does that look like for Nebraska offensively?
Well, offensively, I think they got to, obviously get the conventional run game going, whether they're, that's on first or second down and being able to stick to it. And even if it doesn't work out to the magnitude that maybe you planned out for, don't go away from the run game. You get Emmett going early, you get Mosey going, you get Nelson going, you stick with it. And then that'll set your controlled passing game, which Nebraska's shown the ability to do in game 1 through 7 or 1 through 8. And then it'll open up some deep shots. Look, there's opportunity to be had at the second and third level against USC, but they're just not going to let you do it. So you got to go out and earn it. And more importantly, the weather. Here's what I'm going to say about the weather. It plays in Nebraska's favor. Matt Rule has been on record of saying that he has the team practice outside during the spring. So you're not caught by surprise. And it's a true advantage to Nebraska because USC they would have to really go to extreme measures and have experience of replicating what today would be, meaning that you would have to take the footballs that you have out there in USC and the undergarments or whatever you want to call it, cool them off, and then go out there and practice with them in 85-degree weather. It just doesn't work like that. So that's the advantage to Nebraska. Now, how you make a California team appear soft and appear that they can't handle the elements is that you got to hit these dudes, and you can't bank on USC wiltering in the weather. These are big time athletes, right? That go to USC. They like the bright lights. They like playing on national TV. They feel like this dude.
Look, the Trojans fans taking your picture, Jay. How about that?
But they like the big lights. They've shown the ability to play at times against Notre Dame. We'll see with a week off and a little bit of bye week if they made some adjustments. I do think the Notre Dame score was a little bit closer than what it really was on the field. We've been a part of that on the bad end, and so it's really going to come down to what Nebraska does for 4 quarters. This is not a team generally that you're going to be able to knock out early. In some cases, you could say they play better, probably maybe from behind, but I think Nebraska can, there's an easy pathway for Nebraska to wear these guys down and grind them out.
And I think it's important that you said that, because we know USC is top 30 in the country in sacks. They have 21 sacks recorded on the season as a defense. However, it's almost interesting because when you look at USC defensively and statistically, they generate pressure on the quarterback, but their rush defense is
horrible.
Actually their weakest part.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to have the mindset, we're going to stop the run as we pass rush to the quarterback. Now, you give up 300 yards to Notre Dame and 220-something to Jeremiah Love, it's going to mess up anybody's yards per carry. But if you go back to Michigan State ran the ball effectively against them. Illinois did enough to the point that where Altmaier was able to do whatever he wanted to as far as passing the ball. It was probably his best game of his career as far as efficiency in the yards in the game. And so they're undisciplined. They are a decently – they're very athletic, and it's kind of like their offense line. They're very athletic. They're just not very disciplined. I don't know if they want to stay in the fight, but when their offense is humming, they don't have to. Now, what Nebraska has to make sure, don't think that they're just going to roll over. They had a week to get their run defense figured out, and they want to get to the point to where they can play with their strength against Nebraska. They feel like their pass rush and their ability to blitz, and if they don't have to blitz, they can play coverage. They want to get to there, so they're going to work extremely hard to get to the second and long, third and longs, and put Nebraska behind the chain. So Nebraska has to make sure no procedure penalties, I call them punch yourself in the face penalties or situations, and stay at or ahead of the chains to continue to put the pressure on USC. It's first downs, sustained drives. You'll control the momentum, because the best defense that you can have is the offense on the field, and then obviously that'll lead to more points.
It's always interesting. Nick Sander, Jay Foreman with you here from the Kindler Hotel as we get you ready for Nebraska and USC. This segment sponsored by our friends at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit them today, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Jay, it's always interesting when you talk to opposing coaches, or even when you talk to Matt Rule about how they want to stop opponents.
Right.
One of the first answers that they'll always say is they'll say, we want to stop the run.
Right.
Lincoln Riley this week was asked about it in his press conferences. Hey, what's priority number one for you?
Right.
And it is, he didn't say stop the run. He didn't say limit Nebraska's explosive plays. He said we need to stop and control the special teams of Nebraska.
Yeah.
They look at that. That's something that we can say now going into today's game.
We have an
is where Nebraska has an advantage, and it's a strength of their team because they've done it consistently through the first 8 games.
And the great thing about it is taking, mental power away from all their coaches, because it's all when a head coach says we need to do this, it's all hand on deck. So you're taking mental power away from the assistant coaches and the coordinators, away from what they normally do, and focusing on special teams. Now the pressure is Nebraska's, caught some teams by surprise, took advantage of some opportunities as far as special teams wise. Now you have to deliver on the big stage against USC when USC is just coming off giving up a 103 kickoff return after I think they might have took the lead against Notre Dame. So, Nebraska has an advantage, a distinct advantage in the special teams. They do that, hold serve, as I like to say it, and then take advantage of the opportune times offensively. Nebraska will be partying up and down O Street here in a few hours.
Let's talk about the defense versus USC's offense. Obviously, last year when Nebraska went out to Southern California, it was still relatively early in Jada Maeva's career.
Right.
And they were still trying to get their bearings. Nebraska, it was fresh into the Dana Holgorsen offensive time as well. Tony White was still here. Jada Maeva is one of the most prolific passers statistically in the country. What does Nebraska have to do defensively? People get infatuated with the number one pass defensive statistic that they are in the country, but I think we have yet to truly see that.
Yeah, well, tonight, and look, they're good enough offensively. Of course, I'd like Nebraska to go out and dominate and truly shut them down. Now they were able to do some good things against Notre Dame, but Notre Dame did something that you don't see in the stat sheet. They competed every single play as far as in the pass game. 50-50 balls. The ones that they didn't, able to win, they made it USC, work for it. So you got to get him off rhythm. What do? He's generally, it's a play it type of system. First or second read, then they actually do a decent job pass blocking so that he might take off. I think the element of surprise hurt Nebraska last year because he wasn't in the system. Now here on the flip side, coming off the bye week, he has way better command of the offense than he had at any point last year, and he continues to get better, throughout the year. And so Nebraska's got to go out there and compete. You got to communicate before the snap, and then you got to go out there and compete like hell and make some plays on the ball. This is not a game where you got to worry about and say, okay, we just called cover 4, so USC isn't going to make plays. Mm-hmm. They make plays on 50-50 balls. They try to make you miss after the tackle. We got to rally to the ball, and by doing so, potentially we could cause a couple fumbles and get some turnovers.
Well, I said this to you. You and I had some conversations off air earlier in the week, and I said, Jay, I mean, they have 2 of the best wide receivers in the conference, and Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon. And you specifically said, I remember it vividly. You were like, Nick, they got 2 really good tight ends as well.
They got 3 really good, 2 special receivers, another really good receiver, which is anywhere else he would be that dude. He's more of a slot receiver, but he can play out wide. And then they got 2 NFL tight ends. They got the third-team running back that started out as a walk-on, but he can house call you. They have another 5-star recruit, 4-star recruit that's his backup, and a young emerging offensive line that they might get their original starting left tackle back. So, for this offense and Nebraska's defense, this is the best that you're going to play. This is the best that you're going to play, and they got a really good quarterback, and we know what it's like to have that. And so you got to go out there and essentially earn your money and go out there and earn this victory.
It's so interesting because I go back to the last primetime game Nebraska had, and that you don't have to go far. It was 2 weeks ago against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and potentially the most alarming quote that we've heard from any coach this season was John Butler admitting that he lost aggression and he lost his willingness to be aggressive after Minnesota hit that big 76-yard touchdown run with Darius Taylor. This is a game. There's a very good chance that USC comes out, punches Nebraska in the mouth. There's a very good chance that they might strike up a big play. They got their marching band in town in section 21, rows 2 through 6. Jay, they might strike up the band early on in the game. This is where you can't lose that aggression. You can't lose that drive if you're Nebraska's defense because there's so much game left. But there's still, I think, a part of Husker fans, myself included, that sit here and go, all right, now we need to see that. And since you just admitted to that 2 weeks ago, it's time to prove that you've learned from that mistake.
Yeah, sometimes you get up there and, you're kind of very open as far as what, what you're feeling. And sometimes people can run with that. And you know what? There's probably a lot of coordinators that go through those emotions because, you practice one way all week and you're seeing something different on the field. So it's just a natural, kind of mindset sometimes. Now, what you can't do is let that affect how you go call something in the second, third, or fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But more importantly, the players need to take it upon themselves to make every single call as right as possible. There's always a path to a winning play, even if you're not in the perfect call, because this game's going to come down to imperfections. Who doesn't turn over the ball? Yeah. Who doesn't have a huge amount of missed tackles in the open field? Who doesn't have miscommunications as far as in their offensive line play, defensive line play?
And that was part of the issue in Nebraska's offense against Minnesota and Matt Rule admitted to that about the first drive. There was not a single play that had solid communication from start to finish.
Right. So you got to start off fast. Yeah. This is a game that this is not I was fortunate enough. Every game that we played was like this, but we kind of rose to the occasion. This is not a game where you ooze into the fight, get into it. This is like, let's get it on. Yeah. Because you got to go out there and throw punches, and you got to be effective throwing jabs. You're going to take some punches, and then you got to be able to deliver the knockout blow when you get a chance. And so, whether it's special teams taking a big role on that, it's got to be offense and defense to take you home.
And there's no reason you should need any outside details or atmosphere to get yourself up, right? Like the blackout is great. Everything is out on the outside is great, but it's also peripheral where you shouldn't need the fans in a blackout. You shouldn't need it to be a night game. You shouldn't need it to be national TV to go, I'm ready to go hit a dude and win a football game.
The blackout is great for my young fans right here, right? Coming in from USC. It's great for them because they get to experience it, right? That's motivation. It gets them excited. During pregame, right? They get to take pictures from, coming from California, expensive some cold. They got the blackout going on right here. It's great for the fans. It's great for when I come out the locker room. Yeah. But all that goes away when we kick off, right? We're not looking up there and counting, right? And so it's just part of pantry or what
Yeah.
pageantry. Excuse me.
Yes. Not the pantry.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Some
Not
people
food
need
pantry.
some of the people I saw. I'll just move on. But anyways,
no, I'm curious. Where were you going with that?
I was gonna say some people need to go to the pantry because they're a little suspect. They're walking around down O Street. But now, since you had to ask, I had to tell you. But I think the pageantry of the game is what really excites. You'll get the Instagram,
sure,
posts and hits and social media impressions. But when it's kicked off, nobody, guys on the field, all 11 guys on offense, defense, and special teams, that's not going to mean anything. Yeah. It's a part of the game. It's part of the process. But, that shouldn't get you to push you over the edge. Now, look, you talk about crowd noise. We're at home. They're coming 2 time zones. They're 1-7, I think, going 2 time zones.
That is correct.
On the road. And the crowd is going to be electric if Nebraska makes them electric. You can't come into the game expecting the crowd to make you play better. Play your best football. The crowd will be just a part that kind of makes the cherry on top, and then you could talk about the crowd after the game.
Speaking of the crowd, they're giving out some war towels to the students in the stadium tonight, but also Raising Cane's dropped us off some of these black war towels and some black pom-poms. We have a couple extra. If you're walking by the Kindler Hotel and you want a black pom-pom for tonight, you want to have a young person, you can please take them off our hands because we won't be able to use them tonight. But I will not be able to use them tonight.
Jay.
But
it's your birthday.
Nonetheless, once again, this segment's sponsored by our friends at Advanced Medical Imaging. All right, Jay, as we do every week, let's talk key players. I'm gonna start us off on offense here. I think it's Emmett Johnson. I think this is once again another chance, not for Emmett to prove that he's RB1. He's done that enough to this point, but continue to assert yourself as a top running back, not only in the conference but also in the country statistically. And in the day like today, where Nebraska, they don't want to get into a track meet, even though they can score the football on a night like tonight. It does not feel like one that you want to get into a track meet with USC.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. I think for me, it's going to be – I think I'm going to go with Dylan.
Okay.
And it's not even how many yards he passes for. Sure. I think this is a game that I want to see maturity-wise. Obviously, within reason, can he control the game? Yeah. Kind of Tom Brady-esque. Are you going to bleed the clock when you need to? Are you going to play, be very strategic when you hurry up? Are you going to make the easy play? And then are you going to take the strategic risk and cash in on it? I think this is a big game for Dylan to show everything outside of the stats. He's got the stats, right? He's got the name and all that. This is a game where he actually controls the whole game by how he plays.
As great as it is, we saw it a couple of weeks ago, as great as it is, the left-handed passes, the one-handed passes, the shovels, the improvisation of Dylan Raiola, as great as that is, I'd also just like a very strategic, methodical performance from him. I think that's what Nebraska needs, and that's something that can settle the team down if adversity hits, if they're in crunch time.
Right.
Dylan's done really well in the fourth quarter this season, but to have a 4-quarter game from Dylan, your quarterback, I think would be massive for the Huskers.
Just keep plugging away, and if there's a chance early in the game, strike, right? Yeah. Just keep plugging away. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's a big part in USC's kryptonite. Mm-hmm. He can actually, impose his will on their offense by the way he's playing. The way he's playing, the way he plays and gets, all the guys over there limiting it, watching how he's handling his business will put more pressure on them. So Dylan's going to control the outcome of this game. Let's
talk defense. Who are you looking for?
Oof. You know what? I'm going to say that just the defensive backs. Okay. Look, you roll up here. They got good dudes. We got good dudes. They think that they're the next coming, the second best receiving core in the league besides obviously Ohio State, or they probably think they're the best. Well, let's get it on. Let's get it on. This is the game where the DB say, look, you guys handle the run, and we're going to handle this back here.
Give me your prediction tonight. What happens?
I'm going to go 31. Yeah, you listen to 31-27 Huskers. USC loses late because you want to know why? You're listening? You want 2 time zones, and you guys aren't physical. This is the only sunshine you're going to get right here. You guys don't like the white knuckle games. It's going to be 34 degrees. You guys are going to be ready to get on that big jet that your donors gave you to get up out of here. So we're going to end it real quick. It's going to be the fastest fourth quarter that you guys have played in. where Emmett Johnson take us home.
There it is. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert here. This segment sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging. Advanced Medical Imaging offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the very same day. Call today, 402-261-1085, or you can go online, amimaging.com. Visit them in person, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. All right, that is it for us here from the Kindler Hotel. Make sure you tune in as soon as the game is over for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Jay and myself will take you up to 90 minutes after kickoff before handing it off to Austin and DP for an additional, as we hope to be breaking down a Husker win. Jay's picking a Husker victory. I am as well. I'm going to go 34-30 Nebraska with a win against the USC Trojans. I feel like 30 might be a magical number tonight. We'll see for the Huskers. It's going to be a good atmosphere. Going to be a great game. We're excited to get over to Memorial Stadium. We're out of here from the Kindler Hotel. Coming up next from the Kindler as well, it's Adam Carricker, Terrell Farley, and Todd Euler here on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Come watch the Lincoln Stars on November 7th as the Fargo Force comes to town for $5 Friday. That means $5 mezzanine tickets, $5 nachos, $5 mixed drinks, and $5 off a purchase of $20 or more. It's $5 Friday with the Lincoln Stars at the Icebox on Friday, November 7th versus the Fargo Force. Get your tickets today at lincolnstars.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season. The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Baumgars is hosting a ladies' night this Sunday from 5 to 8 p.m. Stop into your local Baumgars store for a special shopping event. Ladies will receive a 20% off discount from regular price on their purchases and can enter to win gift cards. Plus, a portion of the evening's proceeds will be donated to local cancer centers, hospitals, and women's shelters. So mark your calendar for the Baumgars Ladies' Night this Sunday from 5 to 8 p.m. We hope to see you there.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC, doing life together.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Collagen of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Collagen reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at ColliganHuskers.com. That's ColliganHuskers.com. Collagen of Lincoln. Water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by the Kindler Hotel.
All right, welcome back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pre-Party. Adam Carricker, Terrell Farley, and Todd Euler. We are from Kindler Hotel. Book your stay at the Kindler Hotel in one of their 45 well-appointed guest rooms that provide luxury in the heart of downtown Lincoln. Enjoy a drink at the Botano Lounge while you're here and take in the outdoor patio. Book your stay at thekindlerhotel.com. All right, Adam. You're
What's
the guy.
up? All right, man. Let's do this. Nebraska, USC. Todd, what are your biggest keys to the game today?
Obviously, I think it's going to be stopping their offense, right? Getting off the field, giving up field goals instead of touchdowns, no big plays. I think that's the key. If we can do that, we're going to be in this game.
What do you think, Terrell?
Taking away the pass. I say if you can do a great job, which is going to be probably impossible when we talk about the receivers that USC got. Maybe we can slow them down a little bit. I know their top running back, Wayman Jordan, is out of the game. The backup is really good. So really don't sleep on this team, period. It may come down to special teams, and I think we have a big plus in that part. They got 2 great return men, but still not as great as us on special teams. I think we have to just take their offense away from them.
For me, man. So it's funny you bring up special teams. The one clear advantage I think we have is special teams. They're third worst in the Big Ten in special teams. We're number 2 in the country, according to the almighty Pro Football Focus grades. Take those with a grain of salt. But I think we have a clear-cut advantage in special teams and penalties. They're undisciplined. We have a small advantage in turnover margin, but those things can add up to big things over time.
Beyond that, I've been saying it all week. It's the trenches, and I don't know how we feel about that, but I think it's going to come down to cold weather, late game, who can run, who can stop the run, the trenches. When I say that, how do you guys feel about it?
I feel great about it.
You do?
I mean, for right now. I mean, because the game hasn't started. I mean,
Okay,
you're gonna feel good until you see it in action. And I think one of the things we have to do is play sound defense, stay in your lanes. I think giving up that big run to Northwestern last week kind of probably shocked me that nobody was out there to contain it. And Lincoln Riley's a great coach to pick up on things like that. He's going to try to pick Nebraska brain. He's going to try to go straight at John Butler and see if John Butler can counter with anything good. But the more challenge is on our offense. When we talk about that part, do we get the Emmett Johnson we've seen the last 4 weeks? Or do we get the Dylan Riola who throws a pick every game? I think this is a game that we can really slow him down by taking advantage of the run and things like that. Oh, my God.
Hey, you maintained your focus really well.
Yeah, I tried right now.
I did it.
Man, what do you think when it comes down to, like, trenches? It's an old Pac-10, Pac-12 team, old Big 8, Big 12, although we've been in the Big 10 for over a decade. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to November Big 10-style football. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to run the – I've said this every week, though, Adam. We need to run the ball, establish a run so that it does help our passing game, right, and help that offensive line pass block. And when we do that, we seem to be able to, get down the field, score. When we don't do that, we give up a ton of sacks, right? So I think obviously it's going to be a game in the trenches. Has our offensive line progressed? Have they learned from some of the stuff? And, that's what you hope as a coaching staff, is that we're getting better every week, right? So we're going to see. Same with the defensive line, right? In the trenches. Can they hold their – I think that's been – I don't watch a ton of film, but
stay disciplined.
Gap
sound.
Yep. Gap sound. We don't give up those big runs if some of our guys just stay in their gap and, do their job. And can you be selfless in a game like this where there's the big hype and do the job you were brought in to do instead of trying to make a big play? That backfires, right? So it's definitely we've shown we don't have a great offensive line.
Not consistent, no.
Right? No. We've shown that our D-line has been super inconsistent. So can we come out tonight and play consistent on both sides of the ball? I think we can. I think the talent's there. Do they have the discipline? So that's going to be a big key.
I think you make some great points. We haven't had a Big Ten game yet where we haven't allowed a long run. And normally explosive runs are 15 yards or more. I'm talking, we haven't allowed one of 30 yards or less. Like every single game, it's been 30 yards or more. Even Michigan State, their running back didn't do much. They only had like 84 yards rushing. But Aiden Childs killed us in the third quarter, the quarterback. You think to Minnesota, the long run. You think to Maryland. You think to Michigan. They had multiple ones. You think back recently, that Northwestern run. And they had another one called back. Yeah. When I complained about the reffing afterwards, it was because it was bad both ways. By the way, I found out that reffing crew is being reprimanded for stuff in that game. Just FYI. I wasn't supposed to share that. Hopefully the guy who shared it with me is not listening. I did not share that. But beyond that, you make a great point. We are 3-0 against Power 4 teams when Emmett Johnson rushes the ball 20 or more times. Yes. We are 1-2 when he does not. And in those 2 losses, we have allowed more sacks in those 2 losses than our other 6 games combined. Yeah. If you don't establish the run, make the defense respect it, they can just tee off on your quarterback, and then you got issues. What do you think about all that, Terrell?
Yeah, I think when we talk about rushing-wise, Emmett has to be the main focus of this game. He's like last week, almost 30 carries, 28 carries, 100 and something yards. He has to be the main focus. Now, offense has to pick up when they pass those. So passing hasn't been great. Where's Ja'Cory Barney? Where's Dane Key? We've seen Isaiah Hunter for the last 3 weeks. We've seen what he can do. Now we need the other 2 guys to step up to help Emmett and Isaiah take that heat off Dylan and get open and try to blaze up this USC defense.
So I don't enjoy this stat, but Dylan is 1 of 10 over the past 2 games combined on passes of 15 yards or more. I think part of that is establishing the run so they can't tee off on you, and then you actually have time to set up for play action pass and hit some guys deep. And it all goes hand in hand. It all goes together, and it starts with getting the ball to the number 2 rusher in the Big Ten, number 5 in the country, and number 1 all-purpose back and player in the entire Big Ten conference in Emmett Johnson as well. And I know some people might be concerned about him getting banged up or beat up. You know, for far too long of the season, he didn't get the ball enough. I think for a guy who is the guy on a team, he is as fresh as any back you're going to find in the country. And at the end of the day, if he gets banged up, it's football. You got to do what you got to do. We got to start with Emmett Johnson, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely. I think that's probably a bigger key than our defense, right? You know, even if our defense steps up and holds them to, I think they're averaging 28 points on the road this year. We've got to score 35, right?
Yep.
So, you know, if we can't score 35 points, we're probably going to lose this game.
They're the number 1 total offense in the country, number 1 passing offense. But I say it comes down to the trenches. So everyone was so focused, including myself, versus Northwestern. Oh, they average 190 yards rushing a game. We got to stop the rushing attack. You know, USC averages 203, just for perspective.
Right.
So to me, it still starts up front. If they can't run the ball, they have one really good running back. So they're going to be like, hey, maybe we got to protect him a little bit. He's not used to all these reps. And if we can tee off on them, by God, we can have some fun defensively.
Okay. Well, did you see the guy against Notre Dame or Michigan? Hey, he looked pretty damn good against them rushing the ball. So he's a true freshman. He has a lot of I mean, he's a redshirt freshman, so he didn't get the carries early in the year that he's going to get today. But, you know, he's a back that gains more steam as the game goes. And I don't know if that's a good part for Nebraska. We kind of let off the gas a little bit in the third and fourth quarter against the Russian team. So we have to start from the beginning when you talk about stopping the run and trying to make them go air raid offense, which is the same time that's a good thing for us probably because we're number 2. But if you look at statistics, Oklahoma was a top defense till they played Ole Miss. So hey, maybe the tides will turn on this go around.
All right, man. So you make a good point. I got a question. Most of the year, we've had the number 1 pass defense in the country. Right now, as we sit, we're number 2. All right. How much stock do you put in that? We're going to learn a lot today.
Yes.
We have not faced a top 50 pass offense all year. When you talk about who you played, how much faith do you have in our pass defense going against the number 1 pass offense in the country today?
What?
You weren't ready for that, were you? That's why I took a deep breath before I said it.
I kind of thought Euler would have caught this one. It's going to be a tough. It's going to be a test. It's going to be tough. When you look at the teams that we played, Cincinnati didn't really do anything. They're playing great now. When you look at Houston Christian and Akron, you got to throw them to the side because we don't count those type of games. Michigan wasn't really a passing team. I mean, they beat us on the ground when you look at it. Maryland and Northwestern. Maryland was probably the better offense that we've seen this year, passing wise. They kind of carved us up for a little bit, 230 something,
249,
something. But this is going to be a different air raid. This is going to be different competition when you look at the wideouts against our DBs. These are Hollywood, California guys who like to run, who's very fast. But I think if we calm down early, get the right guys in position, we can hold this offense down.
So it's been made, a lot's been made of it, and I'm interested to see how much of an impact it makes in today's game. By the way, it is too warm right now. I want it to be so 40 to 50 degrees colder than this by the time we kick off the game. But USC is 1-7 under Lincoln Riley when traveling 2 time zones or more. They finally beat a bad Purdue team recently. Otherwise, they were 0-7. How big of a factor is that in today's game? Plus the blackout environment.
I think you gotta put some weight into that, but you can't put a whole bunch into it, right? It is Memorial Stadium. It's a blackout. It's going to be an awesome, awesome atmosphere. I've talked to a couple USC fans. I'm like, first time in Lincoln. They're like, yeah, I love it. I said, it's going to be insane tonight. Enjoy. And especially like we can get out to a quick start, kind of like the Colorado game last year. If we can get out to a quick start, get a quick turnover, something like that just really fuels the crowd. I think they're in for a long game, right? So you got to put a little stake in. Like no different though. We have 28 consecutive losses to ranked teams. Like how much weight do you put into that, right? So USC wasn't ranked last week, and now they are. So.
They had a bye,
right?
And then they became ranked.
Yeah.
Somebody's trying to help us out. What do you think of that, T? You don't play a game, and then you become ranked, and then what if we beat them, and that's how we get our rank? I won't give a crap, by the way. Right. But what are your thoughts on having a bye, and then all of a sudden now you're ranked when you weren't before?
College football. The different college football. And another thing, when you talk about the time zone, these coaches have got smarter this year because a lot of them leave on Thursday, get their guys accommodated on a Friday practice, get some sleep. I think this game is going to be very even because when you look at it, it's a night game, so they got all the rest. They relax, they're posed. Now we're looking for them to go out here and play some good football tonight in a black shirt environment. Can't wait to see the environment though.
I want to. So let's talk about it. The blackout. They didn't make it black shirt oriented. And I think and I don't hate that. I want it, but I don't hate it. But I think part of it is you're playing the number one offense in the country. So let's focus on the blackout versus the black shirt. I'll tolerate it for now. But what do you guys think about the blackout and all of that stuff that we're doing, the alternate uniforms, all that?
Yeah, I think in college football right now, you know, this is what kids want to see in recruiting. I think we've got quite a few recruits in this weekend.
A lot, it's like 60.
Yeah, like 60 recruits. So this is, as much as us being traditional Husker fans probably hate it, right? It's something that we need to have in order to take this program to the next level. You just don't want it to backfire, right?
So what would a backfire look
45
like?
45 to 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be a backfire.
Okay.
Right. Like, so that's the, you know, and I said when we did the Michigan game, that wasn't a must win for the season to be a good season. This is a must win game. We have to win tonight. It's, you know, we've got 2 home games left. I was looking pretty darn good.
Yeah, they are.
This is a must win if we're going to get to that 8 or 9, you know, win and make a jump this season versus last. Otherwise, we're looking at, you know, 6-6 again, potentially. So it's a must win. It's going to be a crazy environment. I think you have to do those things in order to Oregon's been doing it for 20 years now. I don't think they ever wear the same uniform or the same helmet.
They probably don't.
They got a rich guy.
They do.
They do.
They got Nike right down the street.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that these kids, you know, they have short attention spans and they want to see the flash. And, you know, I think Coach Rule's done a lot of the things he needs to do in order to, you know, start getting guys to look at Nebraska. And this is going to be one of them. And we come out and, you know, win this game, that even does more, right?
Maybe it becomes a tradition.
Right.
Blackout game.
Blackout game. Yeah.
So
it would be awesome.
I want to get your thoughts, T, but real quick, I was chatting with my daughter, Trinity, who, by the way, shout out Trinity. It's her 13th birthday. She's sporting my old black shirt right over there. My wife dug it out. So, but I was chatting with her and I'm like, man, because we've done the all whites this year, the all reds. And I'm like, I know the kids want to do it. It's a little too much. What if we picked, tonight goes well, USC, start with that. What if we picked one game a year, kind of like Penn State? They get their whiteout game. What if we had our blackout game every year? And that became a tradition. What do you think of something like that, rather than wearing alternate uniforms like 3-4 times a year?
I don't like it, Adam. I'm jealous.
You don't like it?
I'm jealous.
Oh, you're
man.
jealous. Okay.
I'm jealous. We didn't have that type of black uniform.
I didn't either,
well,
dude.
I practice in a black jersey a lot during the week, but when you talk about playing in a black jersey, that's something different. That's pride. So if these guys got to play on pride wearing these black jerseys tonight to represent the black shirts, you know, me being a former black shirt, I stand on business when I talk about the black shirt football. And I think we need to show everybody why the reason we wear black tonight, just because of the black shirts, not just because of the alternate uniforms. It's time to represent our black shirts. They need to step up tonight against this team and play an excellent game. We need the Sierra Wrights. We need the McCullums. We need the Javen Wrights to step up. We need the Vincent Shavers to do these guys. I mean, this is going to take 11 guys. 11 guys. I mean, Alan, you know what it feels like when you play as a team. And I think them showing a week before when they all went in the end zone throwing up the bones. That's the first time we seen it last week. I mean, that's a I throw the bones up every time I do something. So you know, it shouldn't just be a one game.
That's why you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It's not just a one game thing. It's an every game thing. Throw the damn bones at practice too if you want to do it. So you know, I'm happy for the university. I'm happy for these guys. We really went out with the all black end zone. This is what we talk about, what we want to see in college football, and we're going to be a part of it. So I'm happy to be a part of it tonight. Day after Halloween, see some crazy some crazy costumes out there tonight, and let's just hope the guys have fun and can win the game.
So something's got to give in multiple aspects, from our record to AP rank versus AP ranked teams to their record when they're traveling to more time zones, etc. Here's another thing. They're averaging 530 yards a game, number one in the country. We have not allowed an opponent to have over 400 total yards in a game yet this year. So something's got to give there. I don't know how much time we got left here, Austin. 2 minutes. Perfect. Lead in perfect. So what's going to give? Who's going to win? What's your score prediction?
I'll go first because I know what Terrell's going to say. But I think it's going to come down to limiting USC's big plays. If we can limit big plays, we can win this game. I think we're going to have to score 35 points. So I'm going 35-28.
Okay, I like it.
And we come out with the win. We probably rush the field. Why not?
Yep.
I know Terrell will be against that too.
Are you against that? No.
Yes.
Oh.
You don't rush the field
rush
against
the
number
field.
25.
You do.
That's against the laws
We
of
rush the
football.
field.
What if they're 23? They're 23rd.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We haven't had a lot.
Just take the cone from the end zone.
Just take
Okay.
the cone.
Yeah.
I like that, actually.
So I got
Okay.
35-28.
All right. Good guys. Good guys?
Good guys. Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
All right, man. Y'all know we do this every week. We do this every week, and we have a little crowd out here today. So if you guys don't know, I pick against Nebraska because Nebraska wins every time I pick against them. So I've been doing that for ever since the season started. So I'm gonna have to go USC 45. Nebraska 20.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
but that's reversed. That's reverse action. That's really like Nebraska winning.
I'm still blaming Terrell for the Minnesota loss.
I picked Nebraska.
He picked Nebraska. I still blame him.
Minnesota, and we lost.
And
I gotta go back to my theory. When I picked the visiting the team we playing, we win. So I picked Northwestern last week. We won. I picked Michigan.
Yeah.
I picked
Michigan State.
I picked Michigan State. We won. So I have to pick
Maryland too.
I picked Maryland also, and we won. So the thing I'm gonna do again, I'm gonna go against them, and hopefully we win. I'm going USC.
So your pick'em record is terrible, but as long as Nebraska wins, you don't care, right?
Well, I'm second in our league. I'm only one down to Tex Crowd.
Okay.
Box in
All
last place.
Shout out to Jake Bach, who's also losing to me as well.
I'm 53-32.
Dude, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
I put mine out there. It has not changed. I want to be wrong. I want to talk about a win afterwards. This is not reverse psychology. Again, please be wrong. Bad guys 35, good guys 27. I would never be more happy than to be wrong. Go Big Red, but I got USC winning tonight. So, any final thoughts, fellas?
Go Big Red, man. Let's get it done. I want us to protect our house, right? I said this, after the Michigan loss. Let's make people fear coming into Memorial Stadium, from the fans to how we play at Memorial Stadium. Let's go out and let's just kick some butt.
You got anything else?
Lose your voice. Scream for your team, man. Make it louder now. Make those California kids spooked out there. I mean, day after Halloween, big environment, blackout. Let's do the things we're supposed to do to take care of this team. Shake hands after the game, and hopefully Nebraska victorious, so we can go to next week and worry about who we got next week.
Hey, I would just say, man, I want the blackout thing to become a thing, and that's got to start with us playing well. Yeah. I want them to prove me wrong and Terrell's reverse psychology right. Yeah. Go Big Red. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right.
All right.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki NAV, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to NAV your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Nebraska fans, it's game day in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball, with every game on, every screen, all day long. Today, they're bringing the party with Sidetrack Band all day long, and Lemon Fresh Day takes over tonight. Doors open bright and early at 9 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going with full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, bands, good food, and drinks. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197 assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Crinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln.
All right, welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. I am Harrison Arns. That is DP. He's back to my left. And this segment is sponsored by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership, stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton Trailers. Stop by their 27th and I-80 location today. You guys are welcome to join in. 402-464-5685. It is the Starter Heyman text line. You can comment on the streams as well. We got USC. It is the blackout game. DP, how we feeling headed into this one?
Tell me if you've heard this before. Right? This is the soup. This is the recipe. This is what's being served. That every week, Nebraska will have an opportunity to elevate the program, elevate the young men. The young men will have an opportunity. Coaches have an opportunity. And then the fan base has an opportunity that on primetime television, national television, against a traditional helmet opponent, and an opportunity to firmly change where you stand in the Big Ten football conference. We've heard that. It's every week. It will be the story every week. And so this week, the story is the same. That everybody involved in this thing has to take advantage of the opportunity. I don't care who the opponent is. I love the fact that it's a helmet game. I love the pageantry. I get it. I love the blackout theme. But what I want from the blackout is I want fear. I want them to be aggressive. I want them to be powerful. I want them to be Husker strong. The sea of red or sea of black or the sea of white or the sea of Huskers or the sea of Nebraska or the sea of the pipeline, whatever it is, that, again, this week, this team has an opportunity. Now, you go into it 6-2. Bowl eligibility is not really an issue. So put it down. Put down everything else. Put down the helmet factor, right? Because you can wear a different helmet tonight, so it ain't about that. Put down the tradition and the color, and then simply, for 60 minutes, kick Trojan butt. We ain't got to get cute. You're not going to out-cute USC. So, okay, be Nebraska. Be the strongest version of Nebraska. Be the most effective version of Nebraska. Be the smartest version of Nebraska. Your big fat guys up front need to get it done. Your agile, mobile, hostile guys have to be better than your opponent. Get guys to the ground and don't give the ball away. Win the kicking game. Be better on special teams. On a night where it's windy and cold, you may have an advantage, but it only matters if you do what you're supposed to do. It doesn't matter what USC does. Doesn't matter who the opponent is or what they're doing. Do Nebraska things at the highest level that you have all year. You want to be better than you were in week 1. You want to be better than you were in week 4. You want to be better than you were in week 8 today. And that is, we have a playbook. We have a recipe. We know what it looks like. We know that it requires winning up front, offensively and defensively. Don't overdo it. Don't have to be cute. Again, point of attack football. Point of attack football. Send 3-2, Run them down. Run them down. You know what? Rely on your best player. If your best player offensively is Emmett Johnson, then lean on him. If your best player is Dylan Raiola, lean on him, right? If you need for your best player tonight is Ja'Cory Barney, lean on him. Advantage, CRA. Advantage. Listen, if you tell me that Javen Wright is familiar, then use the advantage. And then coaches, do not be outcoached this evening. And you know the easiest way to not get outcoached, Harrison?
No, it's here.
Stay in your lane. Do what you do. Do what you do. Do less better against USC. Do less better. That's the best Nebraska football that exists. Do less better. Don't need to be cute. Cute to get you beat. Don't have to be fancy. But can I line up my big guys and move two of your big guys every play? Can I have my big guys get your little guys to the turf? Can I not give the ball away? Right? Don't use win as an excuse. Short, quick throws, open windows. We understand. Don't throw it to the opposing shirt. Everybody's wearing black, so we know who to throw to.
Yeah, we can't talk about the weather as a negative if we're going to be talking about it as a positive.
Right. Like right.
Game.
Like I don't care what the weather is.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is if I'm leaning on you in a phone booth, it doesn't matter what the weather is.
Well, and that's the game I think you got to bring to USC. To your point, I think that you said it best. You're not going to out-cute the Trojans.
Don't want it. Nebraska's not a cute program.
Nope. I mean, that's not what this program was built on.
That's not a cute program.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me this. Can I send three guys to their two at the opponent point of attack every play? Can I do that? Can I outnumber them at the point of attack every play, offensively and defensively? Can I get my guys to the ball? Can I get an extra hitter? Can I get an extra hat to the hole? Can I get it right? Can I get, and then that part, that one, I need to bring hammers tonight.
Mm-hmm. You got to keep chopping those legs. That's, Minnesota game was one of the bigger ones, but USC, it's going to be an explosive. They're going to pop some plays off. I'm okay with 10. Don't miss the tackle and make it 70.
Why would I give them anything? You can't pop off anything I don't give you.
Well, I'm just saying wrap up and finish the tackle.
Well, that part, listen, we have the ability now to understand that when Nebraska tackles, they win. When Nebraska tackles, they win. When they do not tackle, they have difficulty winning. When Nebraska is difficult to tackle, they win. Nebraska's bigs, offensive line, protect my little dudes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Protect the little. That's why you there. That's why you at the doorway of the club. You protecting everybody. So let's get that done. Let's get that done. If they want to bring an extra dude to it, you know what? I'm going to attack where they aren't. And a simple throw. I'm going to take the simple throw. I don't need the cute throws. I don't need to be sexy and go, you know what we need to do here? No. Run the dang ball and be better than them at point of attack.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Attack the run and make listen, I'm sorry. I'm not going to chase that quarterback all over the field tonight. I'm going to set boundaries. And I'm going to say to you, I'm going to set these two guard dogs out here. If you come out here outside the hash, I'm going to punish you. Now, if you step up in the space, I need to have them two hit and run dudes standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And come on up here, Mr. Myvie. Come on up here. I'm going to put my hat on you, and I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to make you pay. That's Husker football this evening. Make them pay for taking steps forward and up. That's really the process tonight. That run the ball better than USC does, take care of the ball better than USC does, block and tackle better than USC does. The simplicity, all the other stuff gets you in trouble because then you've got to, you know what? I've got to be faster than you. I've got to be trickier than you.
Well, yeah, you start talking shootout when you start talking that language, and that's USC licks their chops.
I got to out-scheme you. Let me send let's twist here. No, because you twist against that quarterback, he'll put his foot in the turf and he'll get north and get yards on you and keep you on the field. They need to get off the field. Get me 2 more stops, and then please, for the love of goodness, let Nebraska kickers have a better night than USC.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is this is an Archie night. This is an Archie night, right? Kick it into the wind. Hopefully you get one of the returners to cough one up and put it on the turf and we get the ball back, right? Maybe you have a quarterback that's not used to throwing in the wind at night and at Nebraska. You know what? Maybe he took a hat to the hand, and that throwing figure's a little bit off, a little bit numb.
Hey, if the defense is doing what's supposed to.
Hey,
you go back to that Michigan State game. You don't think Childs was a little bit more hesitant later in that game? Early on, we lit that guy up. And it was a battle for him the rest of that game.
Physicality, man.
We need that for USC.
Physicality, that tough and effort and finish, right? Those intentional things. Toughness is intentional. You can't just accidentally be tougher than somebody. Not in a battle. No, on purpose. Listen, Harrison, come on in here if you want to. I'm going to lean on you. Matter of fact, I'm going to lean on you first on purpose. And then once we engage, I'm going to stay engaged, dude. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not here to dance with you. We came here to fight. You a Trojan. I guess we're supposed to fight, right? Well, I'm going to out-Trojan the Trojan. That's what I'm going to do. And then finish. Man, hey, listen, I need for you to go home, bro. I need you to go home with a loss. I need for you to leave my house, leave my woman, leave my crib with a loss. I need you to go tell people. It's a statement on national TV. I need you to go, USC, I need you to leave here and tell everybody else in the Big Ten, Nebraska's back. They're different. Nebraska's different. This is a tough Nebraska. This is a finishing Nebraska. I don't need it to be cute, to be accidental, and whoops, we lost. No, I need for USC to go, no, we went to Lincoln and they kicked our tail. I don't want an accidental win. I don't want a barely win. I want it to be physical on purpose, everywhere, all the time. But listen, we don't need to do extra. We don't need taunting penalties. No, that's not who you are.
Yeah, that's not physicality. That's just being stupid.
Yeah, that's just big. You know what I need? I need you to put them on the ground, gone back to the huddle, high five your opponent, say, let's do it again. Tell your buddy, let's do it again.
Yeah, throw the bones.
Your turn, baby. Your turn. Go get yours. That's what I want from tonight.
I mean, that's what we've been begging to see here. It's DP, when you hear, styles make battles, does that file true, especially in a game like this?
Well, styles make battle if you know what your style is.
Do we know what Nebraska's style is?
If you know what you're good at, and in truth, their first performance and their last performance is the greatest identity picture that we have. Because now we've seen what Cincinnati is and was, and we've seen what Nebraska looks like when it defends in full. We also know its weaknesses and its flaws, that, quite frankly, a mobile quarterback can be a nuisance. But if you do everything else right, that's just a nuisance. That's just a fly in the ointment. That's not a raccoon in your trash. There's a difference between having a quarterback run, get you 3 first downs, but only get 13 points. I'm not mad at that. I'm not going to be bothered by that, right? If he beats you with the feet, that means that your next level guys didn't do their job. That means the guys up front created space that wasn't supposed to be there. But if you're locking down those receivers and then he gets 7 yards, I'm fine. I don't want 7 to be 27. I don't need that. And then keep them off the board. So styles, we watched them last week and we went, wow, there's some toughness here. There's some emotional maturity, right? That when things get difficult, you have an answer and you go back to what you do well. You go back to, we need to run out the clock. Emmett, 2 times, 16 yards, 8 a carry when they know what's coming. They knew what was coming. That wasn't a surprise. They would line up and go, I wonder what Nebraska's going to do here. No, we knew what Nebraska was going to do. Here comes Emmett.
And he was better.
And they were better in the most critical of moments. The previous drive, they knew. Oh, my goodness. Dylan, Sharp, short. Dylan, Sharp, short. Emmett, Dylan, Sharp, short. Quick throws, ball out the hand, open receiver, hit him in the head. Receiver got it to the ground, got back to huddle. They did it again. Right? Defensively. You know what? We're going to take away some stuff. You're not going to beat us with your feet, Mr. Quarterback. You're going to have to make a throw, sir. And quite frankly, we like our dudes back here. Right? So one, we're going to pick you off. And then the next one, we're going to make the 2 biggest defensive plays of the year in the most critical drive of the season, right? Because if you don't do those things, you're 5-3 going into the night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're 6-2. I would write 7-2 in big black numbers. 7-2. Kick USC's butt. 7-2. That's all there is. I'm not worried about playoffs. I'm not worried about USC. I'm not worried about what we did last week. I'm not worried about who's not playing. I'm only worried about going 1-0 tonight against USC. And the easiest way to do that, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Outlast them. They're not going to give it to you, but it'll be worth it when you take it from them. It always means more, Harrison. It's one thing when somebody gives you something. But when you take it, that's the Nebraska football that I get the goosebumps over. Oh, you need a first down. Oh, we just gonna take this. We just look you dead square in the eye. Take it. I'm gonna take it from you. That's what I want. I want the Huskers to take victory tonight. I want them to be purposeful in the victory. Whatever game plan you have. And I hope it's a simple game plan. I hope.
I would think
we don't know.
Coaching from the couch, I think it would be, but I've been surprised in the past.
Listen, man. Listen. If Emmett gets 28 touches tonight, 28 touches. And I don't care if it's 28 rushes. I don't care.
It can be an extension of the past game. Get him on the outside.
If you give me 30, I'm really happy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 30. Give me 30 touches from that dude. Dylan's going to have a better night if Emmett has 30 touches.
And that's been true every single time. When
over.
Emmett is going well, that's when you see the big strikes from Dylan Raiola. And this, to me, is, again, where I hope Nebraska just stays true with Nebraska. For Dylan Raiola, this is a game for me where I hope to see where it feels like he's got full control of the game through 4 quarters. By just taking what's easy, taking risk when it's necessary, and then just avoiding them when it's not necessary whatsoever. You see a complete game from Dylan Raiola, and Emma Johnson's a big part of that. When those two are clicking, that's when the identity of Nebraska comes to fruition.
There's simplicity in if you and I are going to compete, right? And we agree to compete, which is always more fun, right? I don't want to compete against somebody who don't want to compete against me.
Yeah, you want that. You want that competition.
Right? So then we agree that we're going to compete. And then we say, you know what? I don't need 100 yards to compete. I'm only going to need 5. Like, I'd much rather compete in proximity. I'd much rather. It's cool to win the 100, but I'm going to win the 5. So let's agree. We're gonna win or lose this within 5 yards. We can throw a lot of stuff out the window now. There's a lot of shenanigans we can go on, trickery, chicanery, all those things. No. You know what I like? Let's go in that broom closet, turn off the lights,
just start swinging.
Throw hands. One of us is leaving. The other one's going to sit here and work stuff out.
I mean, hey, we're going to be waving "Welcome to Your Worst Nightmare" flags in Memorial Stadium, and that's the black shirt cult. And this goes back to, and I've said it before, Memorial Stadium has to be that intimidating cathedral that it once was. Right now, it's a beautiful church. People like to go in there and say their prayers, but they ain't really too nervous. At one point in time, it was one of those cathedrals where you were walking in there. Not only were you worried about the L on the board after, you were worried about how we doing mentally, boys, after that. Can we pick ourselves up after walking in Memorials? That's a big game for this. And again, you mentioned it, primetime. You want to sell Memorial Stadium as one of those places that you just can't win in.
Well, that's why they came.
Mm-hmm.
That's why NBC's here.
Mm-hmm.
They're not coming here for you to put on this ain't Dancing with the Stars. This ain't that's not why people are showing up tonight. That's not why people are tuning in tonight. Oh, we got the men of the corn. We got the men of the corn in here tonight. Oh, and you know what? They decided to dumb it down and wear black. They went basic. They said, don't get caught up in the cute. Don't get caught up in the sea of red. Black is a statement. It is a statement of dominance. It is a statement of absolute. Mike Tyson said, you know what? I'm going to put on black shorts, black shoes, no socks, no robe. I'm running out the ring, and I'm knocking you out. Out. I didn't need red shorts. Don't need the red socks. I don't need none of that. I'm dressed in black. Johnny Cash with Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
Play that.
I think they will.
They'll
do something.
I know we're gonna paint it black. I know it's coming. And I want 90,000 to sing along.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be raucous and rowdy on purpose. But I also need them to be stoic. No, we're not going to be surprised when we kick USC's butt. We're going to expect it. I don't want to be stunned how dominant USC feels when they lead tonight. I want to go, yep, them boys kick USC's tail. That's what I don't want to be. I want the country. Now, there are parts of the country that may be surprised, right? There may be some folks in sunny Southern California that could be surprised, like, hey, man, y'all boys went to Lincoln. Y'all went to the middle of the country and got beat up. Well, come on back. We'll figure it out. Come on, let's
get you back in the sun.
Let's get back to work. We'll get you some tofu. We'll get you some. we get you back to the beach. Let you drink a fine beverage.
Get you in some Pilates classes.
Hey man,
get you ready.
let you get back to your therapy. Right? We go back and feel how you need to feel. Right? But this is not the vibe. This is not the vibe. This is not the mission. This is not the purpose. I want to be fully engaged and understanding that, you know what? We invited you here to punish you. We owe you, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
We got some receipts, right? I have a heck of a memory. I remember what you did to my big brother. I remember what you did to my uncle. I remember what you did to my father. I'm not getting even. I'm getting ahead. You got to pay. You can't just keep coming to my house, leaving with stuff. Okay, you're going to leave with something. You're going to leave with an L. That's what you're going to leave. There's nothing else. There's nothing else on the table.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other option. I'm not bringing nothing else for you but an L. That's it. That's all I got for you, USC. I'm sorry, you didn't get the memo? You didn't get the memo. You thought you were coming to play football. We invited you to kick your tail. I don't care what your fancy helmets say. I don't care what the band, the men of Troy. The men of Troy got their tail kicked. That's it. You ain't line up. I'm not doing nothing. I don't have to be fancy. I don't have to celebrate. I don't need no end zone celebration. I don't need none of that. You know what? Go line up for 60 minutes. And I'm just going to beat you up. That's what I want. That's what I expect.
60 minutes of it.
60 minutes.
Not one drive, not the first quarter, not the second quarter.
Beating you up. That's what this is, baby. Let's have at it.
And if you're going out there, like you said, be raucous for the black, but it's also, up to the players. Get the fans fired up. The fans will be a spark plug, but you got to go out there and give them a show. That's what they want to see you lean on USC for 60 minutes straight.
The best way to honor the crowd. Gladiator, they tell you, win the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Win the crowd and they will love you. They will adore you. They will cheer for you. And then at the end, they will. That is the sound of the Nebraska fan to the Nebraska gladiator. Win the crowd. Win the crowd, boys. Win the crowd.
I'm fired up for it. DP, I know you don't like score predictions, so we won't do that. But I'll tell you what, I think the spread's 6.5. USC's in here. Final question I got for you. Looking into this game, give me the key players who you think will leave the biggest imprints on this one.
What if I said that Kunanen and Archie win game balls?
I can see a world where that happens.
What if I said that young Mr. Williams and Mr. Barney get game balls? What if I said that Javen Wright once again makes a play in the second half that makes us stand and cheer? What if I said that once again Emmett Johnson is stellar and people leave the room looking at Nebraska differently because of Emmett Johnson? That John Gruden's take on Emmett Johnson isn't just promotion, it's a statement of truth. The number 2 runner in the Big Ten Conference runs like the number 2 runner in the Big Ten Conference.
5th in the nation.
Right. And that in the end of this thing, Nebraska is 7-2. They're 1-0 tonight. They're 1-0. They leave the arena with a victory. That's it. Those people, all the people, the frontline people, we know the names and we don't say them enough with something good behind it. But they're the gladiators. They're the ones that will lead the charge. They're the ones that will set the line and set the line of scrimmage and set the standard and make the loudest statement. Yes, we will cheer loudly for those others, but those big guys up front, listen, it's every opportunity to beat USC. 7-2 looks really good next to Nebraska's name.
Not wrong there. And again, we got to go ahead, wrap it up on this segment. We got plenty more left. Up next, you'll have Austin Norman and AD. But again, this segment was sponsored by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. Again, you can check them out. Stop by their 27th and I-80 location today. That is DP. I am Harrison Arms. Don't go anywhere.
Butts, man. Kick their butts.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Coligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Coligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at ColiganHuskers.com. That's ColiganHuskers.com. Coligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
Nebraska fans, it's game day in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball, with every game on, every screen, all day long. Today, they're bringing the party with Sidetrack Band all day long, and Lemon Fresh Day takes over tonight. Doors open bright and early at 9 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going with full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, fans, good food, and drinks.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Come watch the Lincoln Stars on Saturday, November 15th as the Sioux Falls Stampede come to town. It's flyaway night as the Stars are giving away 2 round-trip flights to Orlando courtesy of the Lincoln Airport. Every ticket is a registration and you must be present at the game to win when the prize is drawn in the third period. There's no Husker volleyball or football game that night, so pack the icebox on Saturday, November 15th against the Sioux Falls Stampede for flyaway night.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Raising Cane's.
That's right. Welcome back in. A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. It's AO and it's AD. This segment brought to you by Raising Cane's. Hey, football fans, this season, Raising Cane's in downtown Lincoln is the place to be before and after the game. Stop by 14th and P Street 2 hours before every home game for giveaways, good vibes, and their signature hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that legendary cane sauce. Don't forget, when the final whistle blows, Cane's is keeping the party going with live DJs from whatever collective and unmatched energy for 3 hours after the game. Big shout out to our friends at Raising Cane's who stopped by, dropped off a little blackout swag over at the Kindler Hotel just on 14th and P Street. Let's bring him in. Former Husker football player, my friend Aaron Davis. AD, happy game day.
It is game day in Nebraska. And you know what? I got to say something, man. My buddy, my nephew, Jackson, and his three of his teammates from Dort College is staying at my house tonight. And they're
pretty
going
good football team. Pretty good
football team. Dang good football team. But one of his buddies, and I love all of them, man. I just met, well, of course I love my nephew Jackson, but one of his buddies walked in my house with a USC sweatshirt on. I was like, whoa, what's this? And then he made the colossal mistake. He's from Iowa. He goes, I'm really an Iowa fan. I'm like, now you really got to get the hell out of here, man. You can't be staying in my house.
Oh, no.
Hey, but I love them dudes.
No.
But he walked in my house wearing a USC sweatshirt and think he's going to lay his head down in my crib.
But don't worry, because I'm an Iowa fan.
Yeah, he goes, I don't think he really knew the gravity of that mistake. Just stick with USC. Because you know how much I despise Iowa. But great kids. I love them to death.
Well, one of them.
Yeah, one of them.
Maybe two of them. But...
My blood, yeah. But no, Austin, you can feel the energy in the air downtown. What's happening? You can feel the energy, man. It is a big game tonight. Mm-hmm. I think you nailed it earlier this week. It's a helmet game. You know, when you look at two blue blood programs of Nebraska and the men of Troy, USC, it's a tremendous opportunity. In fact, in our last segment, I'm going to talk about the importance of opportunity. Austin, how are you feeling, my man, about tonight's game?
I want to jump off of that before I answer how I'm feeling. I have plenty of time to get to that. Let me ask you how big this game is. How important is this game? Obviously, it defines the week. Mm-hmm. How today goes defines whether or not the work Nebraska put in was good for the previous 6.5, whatever.
Right.
But AD, is this just a week-defining game? Is this a month-defining game? Is it a season-defining game? Is it a tenure-defining game here tonight for Nebraska specifically?
This game will mean nothing next week, a week from now in California. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is you got to look at UCLA. Tonight, it's USC. Tonight is a major opportunity for Nebraska. I want to keep emphasizing the word opportunity because it is a big opportunity for Nebraska tonight. And I hope they realize the magnitude of that. It's like Jay says, and kind of us old heads talk about, this is a book and this is another chapter. And each week you got another chapter to write. And the thing about it, you have the pen in your hands. You know, you can dictate when you allow the opponent to take the pen away and write the narrative of the story with mistakes, with undisciplined football, it becomes another ugly chapter. Nebraska can end the ugly chapters of not beating a ranked team since 2016. They have an opportunity to do that tonight. But again, this is an opportunity for tonight, November 1st, blackout, 6:30 national television. They have the pen in their hand.
A lot's been made about the blackout, I think, for good reason. Early reports are promising. Seeing a lot of black around town. A lot of people, I think, ended up getting the memo. So Husker Nation, kudos to you and tip of the cap. But AD, I do have to be honest. You mentioned the USC fan that was, laying his head down in your house. Like, who does he think he is? I have seen more USC fans this week than I have any other Nebraska opponent. And on top of that, they brought their band. Their band posted up over their Big Ten. I have to give begrudging props to USC fans for driving. I've seen more of them than any other fan base, I think, in the 3 years we've been down here.
I think they're rivaling the Michigan fanship that came here, the fandom that came here. And it's when I was driving by, I got lucky and found a parking spot right down the street. But they were playing Dr. Dre, the band, at the Big Ten bar. And I gotta be honest, I was bobbing my head. I'm like, okay, I see you, Dre. But I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Stop it.
That's not Hail Varsity, But they came here tonight in droves. And again, it was a good chance to hang out with Ed Stewart, of course, Nebraska, former All-American linebacker. He was on the show yesterday morning.
Who's rooting for Nebraska, right?
Well, zip. But it was cool to hang out with him and Kenny Wilhite last night. We were kind of the old heads. We hung out pretty late and just talking, and a lot of memories. But the reality is, bringing this today, these young men, Austin, have an opportunity tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned the blackout. This is the first jersey I've ever bought for myself, mostly for my kids. But I like the all black. All those little things those are appetizers for the fans for the most part. That's for fandom. The black uniforms, all that great stuff. Austin, at the end of the day, Nebraska has to play disciplined football, and it has to be want-to football, and it has to be football with conviction. We've seen that in hints, but very, very spread apart and inconsistently. That has to change tonight.
Discipline, I think, manifests in many forms. Obviously, I think through consistency. The more disciplined you are, the more you stay the course, the more consistent you're going to play. It does feel like Nebraska's gotten penalized more as the season has gone on. Maybe some of that is due to the caliber of competition, but that shouldn't be a factor. You got to get more disciplined as the season goes along. I think, just one specific example, Deshaun McCullough.
Yeah.
Just last week, he was not the instigator, but he saw the thing that everyone did, or he did the thing that everyone saw. Yeah. That is dangerous. That is reckless from a guy who needs to know better. I haven't been on a college football field in that capacity. I don't know what the emotions are like. You would, but Deshaun McCullough, you are paid to be a leader on that team, to hold your head above water, to be held to a higher standard. You got away with it because I think the refs made the right call in doing the offsetting unsportsmanlike penalties. But man, it's those little moments that I think end up manifesting in a big way that have the potential to knock Nebraska off course. Yeah, it didn't. They got away with it, but you got to avoid putting yourself in that position.
He's got to avoid. But I sympathize with Deshaun in that he was almost at the fence. And he was like, dude, basically get off of me. I'm already out of bounds by at least 7 yards.
Oh, yeah.
Get off of me. To your point, though, it's like Coach Osborne was saying, Coach, you almost just have to raise your hands in there and say, look, dude, you see where this dude is throwing me out. He's basically put me with the fans.
Right.
When are you going to – we're fortunate it was offsetting. But again, to your point, you can't give the refs an opportunity to catch you. You just simply can't. I'm not even going to say catch you. You can't give an opportunity to even see you defending yourself. If you put it's almost dang near impossible to get a penalty with your hands up. All right. And if you raise your hands in the game on special teams, you probably hit somebody in the back as far as that goes. So that's the other alternative. You don't want to have your hands up. But this situation, you got to simply say, man, my hands aren't even on this guy. I'm out of this thing. We cannot have those colossal mistakes tonight.
I think discipline also shows up, obviously, with the players, but with the coordinators as well. A lot's been made of especially the last couple weeks after Minnesota. But why didn't Holgorsen go away from Emmett Johnson, this and that? But especially John Butler, what he said. I got spooked a little bit by Minnesota. USC has some big play potential. They're going to hit Nebraska. Discipline is staying the course. It is. Stick to the game plan. Now, again, there's the art and the science of it. The science of it is I'm paid to know what's going to work. I'm paid to find the holes in the defense. The art is when do I exploit it? Right. When do I call it? And then the discipline is what's the mix between the two? Right. Where do I have to press the button? And where do I keep my finger off the button? Where do I put a guy in a specific situation? Where do I say, okay, you know what? I'm going to trust my players to go make plays. And discipline is knowing who you are, knowing what you're good at, and sticking to it, whatever that is, whether that's Emmett Johnson running for 5 yards per carry, Dylan Raiola, throwing for, 12 yards per completion, whatever it is, whatever works. Have discipline to stay the course on offense, and USC is going to hit a big play or two. You feel good about that opportunity for them. So if you're John Butler, don't get spooked. Stay the course.
Austin, what you just said, again, me and the fellows were discussing this, and Ed mentioned it on the show yesterday, the importance of the players feeling that their coach has confidence in them.
Yeah.
If he is wavering, they will as well.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. You have to call plays with conviction, call defense conviction, and then the players got to go out and execute. This is not all on the coach. It starts with the coach. It ends with the guys executing on the field. However, if the play call comes in shaky or if it's more hesitant, this is not a team you can be hesitant with because they will make you pay the price. Think about USC. Nick, I keep saying Nick. I'm sorry, Austin.
That's all right.
And Harrison's going, we woke in my world because AD called me every name but Harrison last week on the show. Called me Harold one time. He's like, who in the hell's Harold? But nevertheless, you have to make sure you call those plays and the guys end up and doing it with conviction because if you don't, they're going to play passive. USC is a team, okay? They have won. They do not like getting hit in the mouth. We know that. They have NFL caliber talent every year. That's a foregone conclusion. However, they do not like being backed into a corner with physicality. And it's going to be at kickoff in about, an hour and 25 minutes from now, give or take. It's going to be about 35, 38 degrees. They're going to be uncomfortable. Make them more uncomfortable. That's going to be key, man.
You talk about discomfort, AD. We saw this from a couple different people on the text line throughout the week. Well, USC, when they've come on the road, when they've traveled east, more than 2 time zones or 2 time zones or more, they're not very good. That's their 2 losses. Lincoln Riley, two more time zones, 1-17 in his last 18 games against the spread, 2-15 straight up, or maybe that's reversed. Either way, I get why fans would cling to that. You look for any advantage your team has. This gives me hope. I am not here to knock that. I am here to implore Nebraska to make those nightmares come true. That doesn't mean anything if you ease into the game and let USC get comfortable. The travel, they come off a bye week. You can spin whatever narrative you want out of a bye week. If they come out and they look good, oh, they're rested, oh, they're prepared, they put their week to good use. They come out a little disjointed, a little sloppy, Nebraska's playing well, oh, they're rusty and it's the travel.
Danged if you do, danged
Who
if you
cares?
don't.
That narrative forms after the game. What has to form during the game is Nebraska needs to do everything in its power to make USC feel uncomfortable and make those stats come true.
USC is looking this up, Austin. They have been awful on the road. Losses at Minnesota, Maryland, Illinois, Michigan, Washington. One commonality is all those places are somewhat chilly. That's the bottom line. And the thing about it, they have only one Big Ten road win outside of LA. We don't want to make that 2.
No.
We do not want to make that 2. And like you mentioned, Nebraska's got to punch early. They have to set the tone early physically as well with a quick score. And the thing about it, if you can keep that high-octane offense on ice, like literally and figuratively, I like our chances a lot better. Nebraska offensively, Austin, cannot come out there going 3 and out several times. You cannot do that and give Wave and those guys, his receivers and his four-headed running back crew chances and opportunities to stay warm in a game like this. It's going to be, and Austin, I'm going to say this, man, and I may be wrong, but you look at, just look at the numbers. When Nebraska runs the ball 35 plus times, they win. We cannot allow EJ to become a ghost. Halloween's over. All right. We cannot ghost him tonight. Of all games that we've played up to this point, this is a game. This is an opportunity. We must give a heavy dose of EJ and keep the offense on the field and keep theirs off the field.
I love what you're saying. I really do. Here's the thing, though. I think that we have to be honest about when those rushing attempts come. Because how many of them came when Nebraska's trying to ice the game versus Nebraska's trying to get a lead?
Right. Absolutely.
Those numbers are going to be a little bit more inflated when you look at last week against Northwestern.
Right.
You keep the ball on the ground in order to put the game on ice to bleed that clock.
Right.
I'm a little skeptical of Nebraska's ability to run it that many times. I don't think they want to.
I would take 60-40.
Yeah, I think that's fair. 20 plus for Emmett,
and
25 as a group.
And I would put a caveat on there too, Austin. You take, at the end of the day, you always take what the defense gives you.
Absolutely.
To that point. So I always want to put that caveat on there.
Yes, and I know you know that, but I know other people would just say, well, just run the ball, run the ball. That's great.
Yeah,
I get it because that seems like the way, right? Keep them on ice, I agree with. But that to me comes with quick stops. Right? Because I don't know how much I trust Nebraska to sustain drives. But I also think that USC doesn't necessarily need to sustain drives to score. It's the Kansas City Chiefs problem. What was the narrative when Patrick, not that this USC team is those Chiefs by any means. The narrative, just keep that Chiefs offense on the sideline. They can't hurt you. Yeah, they can. They're explosive.
Yeah.
They can score from anywhere on the field.
And quickly.
So, yes, in theory, it sounds great. But the only way ball control offense works is if your defense is also playing ball control and gets it back to your offense.
Right.
More so than, well, we're just going to run the ball because we say we want to. If it's not working, you're not moving the ball, and USC can score in 3 or 4 plays anyways, it doesn't do you any good unless you finish off those drives.
Absolutely. Austin, my biggest concern with Nebraska, and this is held true, for the whole season thus far, is their lack of discipline in moments where you have to be disciplined. We have Nebraska's many of Nebraska's woes have been self-inflicted, and that's the part that concerns me about Nebraska. This team, you talked about playing with belief in sustaining drives. They have to believe they can do that, and doing it against Northwestern is going to be a lot different than doing it. And it's not a knock against Northwestern; it's strictly a talent gap. They have to be able to do this against the teams like your USC's, like your Michigans, etc. So tonight, my biggest concern. Are they disciplined enough not to cost themselves in crucial moments? Because we've seen that over and over. Now, with that being said, the games they won this year, by the hair on the chin, they would have lost last year. So that is progress. I do get that. So I'm not ignoring that fact. However, in order to go to the next level, you have to be able to remain disciplined in very disciplined moments to where it's not going to kill yourself.
And don't put yourself in that position to begin
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a challenge, but that's what makes a good team. That's the mark of a good team, is when something could have turned hairy, but it didn't. When, you only pull out 24 hairs instead of 10 hairs, for
then they're looking like me up top, just bald. They got a cue ball.
Chin hairs count all the same. They count all the same. So you asked AD, how am I feeling about this game? Nebraska has advantages.
Yeah.
USC has advantages. It's on Nebraska to find them and to leverage them.
Right.
I don't know if I trust Nebraska to win this game, but I'm also not shocked if they find a way to do it. Maybe I'm a downer. Maybe I'm a pessimist. Maybe I'm not bought in enough to atmosphere, environment, what have you. I like Nebraska. They're taking steps in the right direction. I hope this is a team that comes out and plays with nothing to lose.
Right.
It's not just house money. It's just not, gravy, because a bowl game is, I think really the floor, I would say, of the ceiling. That's the bare minimum acceptable standard. Don't relax. Don't ease up, because you met bare minimum.
Right.
But I hope this team, having reached that goal earlier than any team in Nebraska since 2016, says, you know what? Yeah, maybe people are writing us off. USC is favored coming into this game. What do we have to lose? This is our house. We still have a lot to prove to people. Let's go prove it.
Absolutely.
I hope they come out with that attitude. I'm not 100% certain that they will, but it's on the table for them.
And Austin, you have every reason, along with myself and every Husker fan, to have some reservations about that. Because we've seen this movie before. Not saying tonight because it's been playing yet, but we've seen opportunities before that were squandered, and a lot of them were just self-inflicted. Hey, Ron, good evening to you, brother. Go Big Red. He goes, knowing that rule of staying, give this team the boost they need to lock in and play with purpose. Austin, I'm gonna let you answer that, man.
I don't think it should matter. In a very get down to brass tacks business sort of way, I don't think it should matter. I can understand that it would, but I also don't think it was fair for that to be used as an excuse for this team the way it was. That he wasn't signed.
Especially against Minnesota. I'm sorry. Minnesota is not a good football team, and they made us look terrible. So put that aside, but to your point, it should not matter.
I get why it would. They're humans. They're not robots. It's hard to filter in and filter out, but I think it goes back to what you said about this being the chapter. Does that become something you write about? Matt Rule's extension, does that factor into the USC game? I don't think it should. Go play football.
Right.
Yeah, there's time to worry about it. There's time to wonder. There's time to ask questions. But from the time you woke up today till the time it's quadruple zeros, why does that matter? It doesn't have to matter. It's an excuse.
Absolutely. And think about it, and I mentioned this on that Monday when that news came out. I said, they would not be human if they weren't thinking about this.
Sure.
However, that was something they can't control. You can control the narrative to your point on the field. In fact, football ought to be an escape from the madness, because no one can bother you. No one's stuffing a microphone in your face. No one's asking. It's you and your brothers on that field. So tonight, and granted, Aaron, to your point, I'm great, and I'm glad it's locked up. It's a done deal. Business at hand. Right now, you're playing USC. So that from that aspect, when you're playing ball, all that stuff is blocked out, man. At least it sure as hell better be.
Absolutely. What's not blocked out are friends at Raising Cane's. Don't forget, you can stop by 14th and P for giveaways, good vibes, and their signature hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that legendary Cane sauce. When the final whistle blows, Cane's keeps the party going with live DJs from Whatever Collective and unmatched energy for not 1, not 2, but 3 hours after each and every game. That'll do it for me. I'm headed over to Memorial. Don't go anywhere. AD and Raph on the other side.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Come watch the Lincoln Stars on Saturday, November 15th as the Sioux Falls Stampede come to town. It's flyaway night as the Stars are giving away 2 round-trip flights to Orlando courtesy of the Lincoln Airport. Every ticket is a registration, and you must be present at the game to win when the prize is drawn in the third period. There's no Husker volleyball or football game that night, so pack the icebox on Saturday, November 15th against the Sioux Falls Stampede for flyaway night.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Crinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Currency.
All right, folks, we are back. We are right about an hour and 3 minutes from kickoff. We got Raph in Huntsville, Alabama. Rafferty, how are you, my brother?
Doing good, doing good. 1 hour till kickoff. I am ready. Let's ride. Well,
Raph, what's your initial?
hopefully not that way.
What'd you say? Please, we don't want any Denver Bronco.
It took you, 10 seconds to get a Broncos take in there, Raph.
That wasn't a Denver Broncos take. That was a Russell Wilson take, and then I bit my tongue.
That's even worse. Raph, what's your initial feelings, man? Just initial thoughts.
The thought that just keeps on going through my head is the moment is not too big for Nebraska. Play their football. Don't the past gets talked about a little bit. I keep on reverting back to when USC was in town, almost 20 years ago. And we thought that this was the time and Nebraska was going to show the country, what they were all about. And they laid an egg. So I'm hoping tonight they stay within themselves. They play their game. They don't get lost in the pageantry of USC, and they play, what they're made of. And I definitely don't want after this game for Coach Rule to step on the podium and have any type of excuse like they weren't ready to play. Not sure what happened. If we get beat, we get beat tonight because they just had a better team. I don't want to hear any types of excuses or anything like that.
Folks, this segment is brought to you by Currency. Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options at Currency, hiring full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, and other fields. Apply today at gocurrency.com. Harrison, what's your initial thoughts on this game, brother?
I'm a little uneasy. It's just because you hate to keep seeing these numbers, but what is it? 0-28 rules record versus ranked opponents 2-25. We had an opportunity with Michigan. Michigan didn't have their head coach. We let that one slip away. I've seen a lot of these slip away, and I'm just not really sure what version of Nebraska we're going to get. If that stuff's kind of out of the system, you think it would be after, a kind of a humiliating loss to Minnesota last time you're on primetime. And then you learn some things versus Northwestern that it really doesn't matter who you're playing. This team's not good enough to roll really anybody right now. So, I expect them to battle and fight. I will be more shocked if I see a similar team that looks like Minnesota, right. Where USC is good. I don't think we're going to blow them out of the water. I would love that. But I just need to see the guys fight out there.
Ralph, Harrison, folks listening, this is the 5th time Nebraska will don the black uniforms in school history, only 5 times. Of course, this game's going to be NBC primetime. Ralph, I was telling this with Austin, USC's been awful on the road. They have won 1 time on the road outside of LA in the Big Ten. How critical, we can't let USC get comfortable. We have to make them play Big Ten football in November, not September ball in Southern Cal. With that being said, Ralph, how crucial is it going to be for Nebraska to establish an identity early in this game? And what I mean by that, Nebraska so far, it's been a bit bipolar. I think we could all agree on that. How critical is going to be for them to establish early who they are and the way they want this game to go?
Well, when Nebraska's had success this year on offense, what's been the chemistry, or what's been the one person that's kind of stirred the drink, so to say, and that's Emmett Johnson. So they've made talked a lot about how he's leading the nation with over 1,000 yards in total offense. This is his game. I think if you can establish that running game, look at Nebraska all throughout history. When they've been successful, the running game has been successful. Me and Harrison talked about this, earlier this week, that if Nebraska starts running the ball successfully, you're going to see a much better passing game also, just because everything stems off what they can do up front with that running game. And I think that's crucial for tonight. They don't want to they do not want to be one-dimensional against USC.
Absolutely not. Harrison, I'll bring this to you first, then Ralph next. Maeva, Jaden, you have to make him comfortable even without sacks. He's only been sacked 4 times this season. Think about that for a second. He's only been sacked 4 times this season, but his QBR drops big time when he's pressured. 3 of his 4 interceptions have come under duress. It's going to be crucial for Nebraska to move his feet and not the dadgum chains. With the comments that we heard earlier this week regarding defense, Harrison, I believe this has to be a game to where obviously you just can't go all out because he'll make you pay the price if you miss, blitzing and things of that nature too much. But how crucial will it be for Nebraska to keep pressure under this young man early and often?
Oh, it's going to be huge. I mean, that's one of the most obvious things. He's a little bit like Dylan Raiola, where if you give him time out there, he's going to find the open receiver. And then you go look at what those guys have for offense and that wide receiver core, 11 being the big one.
Yes.
I mean, if you give those guys time, even if the initial route's broken, they are elite in that wide receiver room.
They'll kill you.
Yeah, they'll figure out a way to come back to the ball and get themselves open. I mean, so you got to get some pressure and make him uncomfortable. Because like I said, you give him time, he'll figure it out.
Ref, the thing about it, you don't have to be perfect, but they have to be dangerous. Nebraska offensively, Dylan is right now 3 of 11 on throws over 20 yards in his last 4 games. We need, in my opinion, 2 or 3 explosive plays downfield to keep the men of Troy honest. Raf, you being the quarterback guy that you are and understanding that aspect of the game, with Dylan, there's going to be times. The knock at times has been he's hold the ball too long. He's hold the ball too long. Raf, to combat that, it's going to be crucial for Nebraska's receive. We always go back to this, the offensive line, which we know it ends and starts there. We get that, but also Dylan cannot afford to hold the ball too long tonight, regardless of what the line is doing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he's got that clock in his head. And like it goes back to, like we talked about earlier, staying within themselves. Dylan's going to have to stay within himself. He knows that, it's a national audience watching tonight. It's on NBC. The eyes of the country are going to be watching, but that's where he's going to have to stay within himself and know his capabilities and his limitations, because Dylan's a great quarterback, but sometimes he tries to maybe be a little too great. So he's got to know when to throw the ball away. I think that might be the one thing that hampers him sometimes, is he tries to extend the plays. That's maybe where the curse of Patrick Mahomes maybe is a bad thing, because he's seen Patrick Mahomes, the way he's extended plays magically. He's got to pick and choose when he's going to try to extend a play, or when he's just take the incomplete and live to fight another day.
The crowd factor, we've talked about that a lot. The end zones are painted black. The end is painted black. Nick just sent a picture.
It looks awesome.
It looks pretty dang cool. Nick Sainer, of course, will be there reporting. Austin and DP, of course, will be reporting on the game as well. So you definitely want to tune in for post-game with Jay Foreman. We'll be doing the post-game show as always. On that post-game, she's 10 o'clock start, maybe something like that.
Yeah, likely around there,
give or take. And I'm thinking to myself, Austin and Rav. Harrison's like,
come on, man, you're killing me.
You freaking go again, AD, with Harrison and Ralph. You figure some fans may have been partaking in beverages quite early today, and maybe Ralph, some have not stopped since last night, as far as that goes. So that stadium will have a strong stench of Hennessy and possibly also of a Busch Light and a chorus of other beverages. With that being said, though, Nebraska has to be the 12th man tonight. Of course, they don't win games for you, but they sure as heck don't. They don't win games, but they can help you not lose them by disrupting third down and medium crowds, causing chaos and loud crowd noise. Rav, how important will it be for the crowd to be hyped up and crazy tonight? And quite honestly, me first, I don't think that's going to be an issue for Nebraska football fans tonight.
I think the crowd will be lathered up and ready to go. But this goes back again. We talked about this also. Something magical, a blocked kick, a punt return, something on special teams to really put that crowd into a frenzy, something early to happen in the game. Remember the Colorado game? They threw that quick interception that Tommy Hill returned, and that kind of took that crowd to another level. So tonight, something early, if special teams can make an impact quickly, it would not surprise me if they go 3 and out the first, that they bring the heat and they try to block a punt tonight.
Austin, what say you, my man?
What was that?
Dang it! Harrison!
No, it's you just call me Austin. If it makes things easier, we can just go that route. No, I'm Raph, you're absolutely right. They need something to cheer for. And it's also got to get back. I say it every game week now, especially when we play at home. We have to have that sort of home streak going. Mm-hmm. Good teams, especially great teams, you win at home, and you do so in big ways. And if you even go back to, when you were playing AD, you have to have that fear factor. Teams came in, played at Nebraska, and they didn't just leave questioning their football skills. They left questioning themselves as a man.
Oh, life decisions.
And they had to regroup in a big way. You got to get back to that. You want to lean on USC for 60 minutes and really question where they're at as a program. But, to Raf's point, the fans are going to be there. You got to give them something to cheer for.
Raf, I got a reading I'm going to read before we get off. And you're exactly right, Harrison. There's a Coach Osborne read this stat to us a number of times. Close to 70% of the teams lost the next week after playing Nebraska back in the day. because they were beat up so bad. A number of players were missing because we physically punished them to where they literally had shortage of roster the week after playing Nebraska. So 7 out of those 10 times they lost those games after the week after playing Nebraska because of the physicality. Raph, One-Eyed Ray, I want you to answer this. He goes, I got one question. He says to you, Raph, do you miss me?
You better believe it. I always no, who do I miss? Do I miss One-Eyed Ray or AD or?
He said you miss him.
I always keep an eye out for him.
Well, oh man. Well, fellas, listen, this is an opportunity, man. And I was thinking about that, wrote a few things down. But here's the deal. Tonight's another opportunity for Nebraska to understand the lights tonight. It's an opportunity to show the nation and themselves that Nebraska football belongs right back where it's supposed to be, and that's respectable, that's consistent, and that's with an edge. And you look up from the fields of Chadron, Nebraska, to the taverns of Nebraska City, from the farmhouses lit up along the Highway 81, to folks in their combines bringing in their crops under Nebraska skies. But every one of them is going to be tuned in. They'll be watching, they'll be listening, and they'll be believing. The key is, though, they have to believe in themselves. Because when you put on that uniform tonight, and you put on that and you wear it in the tradition, you carry a grit of a generation of those who bled for you, who've supported you, and who've cheered for you through thick and thin. You're not just playing for yourself. You're playing for the guy who came before you, the guys, the 50-plus 60 recruits that are there would like to play after you, for the 86,000 that'll be donned in black, that'll be screaming and roaring their lungs out tonight. But most of all, you play for the guy standing to your left and to your right. Look around, fellas. I'm telling them, look around. This is brotherhood. It's a family. This is your moment. It's another chapter for you to write, and you hold the pen. You hold the pen. You can change the narrative of 9 years of not doing something that's beating a ranked team. You have a chance to change that. So tonight, you've got to end the drought. You got to put that blackout streak against these ranked out teams. I think it's fitting you can black out that streak tonight during a blackout to prove the only thing that really matters, guys. And that's what happens when the ball is snapped, the heart starts pounding. You've got an opportunity to own it, to grab it, and to take it. Because in the words of Eminem, you don't get these opportunities often, but legends do. So when the whistle blows, and when that first hit comes, when that crowd erupts, remember this: you've got the whole state behind you, you've got the heart of Nebraskans inside you, and you've got one mission: make it count. It's an opportunity.
I'm ready to run through a wall, Raph. I don't know about you, but I'll let you get your final words in here.
Let's go. My only final words is this: all those things AD said, I agree with. And also, I just want to say to all the fans here tonight, cherish every moment of it. Earlier last week, former Nebraska football player Ryan Olmert lost his 10-year-old son, Duke. And I spoke to Ryan today. Ryan told me that him and Duke were supposed to be at this game tonight.
Wow.
He thanks everybody for all the love that's been sent to him. And I say this, I mean, do it for Duke. Do it for Duke. Do it for the Olmert family tonight. And just like I said, just cherish being at that game tonight and just get it done. I'm tired of excuses. It's time for Nebraska to play Nebraska football.
I love it. Prayers to the Olmert's family as well, man. Big time, young kid.
Well said, guys.
It's been real.
Yeah, we got to go ahead and get out of here. Go out one more time. This segment was sponsored by Currency. You can go apply today at gocurrency.com. Chris Raff, appreciate you streaming in. That is Aaron Davis. I am Harrison Arns. Don't go anywhere, though. We're bringing you guys in on the last segments.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today. Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sap Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sap Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sap Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sap Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herb Street's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Come watch the Lincoln Stars on Saturday, November 15th as the Sioux Falls Stampede come to town. It's flyaway night as the Stars are giving away 2 round-trip flights to Orlando courtesy of the Lincoln Airport. Every ticket is a registration and you must be present at the game to win when the prize is drawn in the 3rd period. There's no Husker volleyball or football game that night, so pack the icebox on Saturday, November 15th against the Sioux Falls Stampede for flyaway night.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Select Plumbing.
All right, welcome back in. A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Just a little bit underway here before Nebraska kicks off versus USC. It is a blackout, and it looks like it's going to be a good one. I have not noticed anybody wearing the wrong colors outside of the USC fans that made their trip to Lincoln this weekend. Should be an electric environment. Rudy, I know you're heading to that one. Before we break down this game, let's go ahead and shout out our sponsor.
Yeah, this segment right here is sponsored by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319.
All right, Rudy, I've talked plenty on it already. What are your feelings heading into this game?
Yeah, I think this is – I was talking to Bach when we were both walking over here earlier. I think it's – obviously it's a top 25 team that's coming in here, but it doesn't feel like, oh, we're going against David and like in a David and Goliath situation here. It's like this team, USC, that is kind of – they're good for a reason. They're ranked for a reason, but that's not something that just seems like a daunting task to me. So I think that if Nebraska can do what they do well, which is these like lower kind of dump off passes in a sense, just the small passes, which is what USC kind of doesn't defend for. They're kind of playing back a lot on the secondary. So I think if they can take advantage of it and have a good scheme, it could be a good game for Nebraska, but you're also still at the end of the day, you have to be just as good as you've been at your best moments today, is my opinion. So they have the potential to do it, but it obviously is going to come down to like execution, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of Nebraska's football. It's always the butt at the end there. Until we see a complete 4 quarters, because it's where you go look at Michigan State starts off electric. You go up 14-0. Might have been a little bit more, but I think it was 14-0. Michigan State comes all the way back. They take the lead back. Nebraska, eventually pops off with a big play. Emmett Johnson, Dylan Raiola, and then you make a late drive at the end there to kind of put that away. Northwestern, you get the lead, you give up the lead, and then late in the game, you make a good drive by Dylan Raiola to put up points, and then holding, but you get the stop on defense to close that game out. Maryland, I want to say we gave up the lead in that one as well after we had it. I mean, Nebraska's been very, even when we have a fast start, we seem to find a way to give it up. And with the USC team, if there's a lapse in that offense where if we start giving a bunch of 3 and outs or less than 2-minute possessions to USC, that's where this game starts making me nervous. If we can't keep our offense on the field and we keep letting USC tee off because it's an explosive offense, we'll go through some of their numbers, but you guys can chime in as well. These last 2 ones, I like to give it basically to the ticket listeners who are sitting there eagerly waiting on their couch, likely listening and watching from home. But 402-464-5685, you can give me your score predictions or whatever points of interest you want to chime in, or even just your opinions. And again, you can join in on the streams as well. To me, it feels like a game where, the key players are pretty obviously going to be Emmett Johnson and Dylan Raiola, And on defense, it's kind of been Javen Wright. We'll see Sierra Wright's going to have a challenge. We'll see what they do. But on offense, that's the group that's been really inconsistent.
Yeah.
How important is it to get Emmett Johnson rolling in your mind today?
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge too, because like that, like if they do scheme it up wiser on USC's end and kind of take away these short dump off passes that we kind of bring our success on, it's like now we're kind of at a loss of words right now. So you got to go with Emmett Johnson regardless. So I think, like you're saying, if they can get him started early, that opens the play action game too, opens a chance for Raiola to actually do some more work back there too. So I completely agree. I think Emmett Johnson is, like, if he's not on today or if they're just stuffing him back there, it's going to be a lot tougher than we think.
Well, has there been a game yet to where Nebraska's looked good and Emmett Johnson wasn't a part of it? All the games where Nebraska catches their rhythm, it always feels like it's a 1-2 connection where Emmett Johnson's able to pop off a run. All of a sudden, there's less pressure on Dylan Raiola, and then he's got some more open receivers because they got to, whether the safeties are creeping up, into the box or whatever it may be. we haven't had a whole lot of success when that run game is stagnant. And I do see we have people calling in. Unfortunately, I got nobody to screen the call, so you can only text in 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline will be open in the postgame show. So as soon as the clock hits 0, be sure to join Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman, and those guys will certainly take your calls. I just can't screen it. So I would love to, but I don't know how much you guys have been drinking, and I still got to follow the FCC rules. That environment, it's going to be awesome. I see they got the black balloons as well. I saw some people putting that out there. What's your expectations for the environment? Because you get to go to this one. Good luck, making your way in there. It's going to be tough right at kickoff. But what are you expecting?
No, I'm all on board for this. I know all week here at the station, some people like Jake Sorensen was kind of like, oh, like let's keep tradition. But I think this is huge for the campus, for the students, for the players. Like I think all these recruits that are going to come in, it's going to make like everyone knows how big this game can be just based off of the blackout game. And it's something that I do hope doesn't get to their heads in a bad way at all. But you also got to know, like, hey, we are doing this. We're doing this for the first time in a while, the first time where it's an actual bought-in blackout. Like, you kind of have this chip of pressure in a good way, I think, of, like, they're going to be feeding off this crowd regardless. I think the fans are going to be loving it. Like you're saying, I was driving down here to come here, and nobody was not wearing black. If you're wearing red, that's you're hiding in there, which is okay. But
as long as you're just watching at a bar or something.
Yes,
if you're not hitting the memorial,
you're not wearing, like, if you're not wearing black, that's a problem. So, no, I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be something that kind of shows, like, all these traditional people who I understand their points of being against it, but I think it's going to show them too, just like for once a year, let's just do something fun like this. And I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and shout out to the student section. I saw that thing was like packed 2 hours before kickoff. That thing was like already full. So the students are there. They're ready to go. They, again, I saw pictures well before kickoff, a couple hours or so, and it was pretty much already filled. So the students are going to be there. And I know there's been a ton of people, my own circle of friends, people have been talking about heading down for this one. It's going to be an electric environment. The problem is Nebraska doesn't always take advantage of those environments.
Yeah.
Even in that Minnesota, it wasn't the marquee matchup by any means. It was for us personally. But that was another night game where it's Friday night, eyes are on you, and we dropped the ball there.
Yeah.
The 0-28 streak, the Matt Rule 2-22 streak versus ranked opponents. Again, 28 straight losses versus ranked opponents for Nebraska. How confident are you that this streak ends? And I won't ask for an exact prediction, but just give me on a confidence scale, 1 to 10. 10 being confident.
Yeah, I'd put myself probably like at a 6.5 if I had to. I think it's one of these games, like I've said, like it's not too impossible when I'm looking at it. Like I don't see it and I'm like, oh, they're going to lose to a ranked team today. It's like they could do it. It's just they got to execute. So I'm at a 6.5. Could go up to a 7 depending, but I'm giving them more benefit of the doubt than I won't be.
Fair enough. I'm giving them a 5. I'm split right down the middle. And again, because it's just until I get 4 full quarters of Nebraska football, you just get nervous, especially versus the USC team. I mean, this is a team that's built to come back. So even if Nebraska starts off electric, I want them to keep leaning on that physical game and keep using Emmett Johnson if that's what's working, of course, and just milk clock. Because again, USC, they're number 1 in the country when it comes to points per game. Now that number drops a lot when they're on the road, but still one that you got to respect. And, whatever you may say, it's a USC team. It's a California team. It's cold. Do you think the weather's going to play a big part, or is that overblown?
I think it probably could to an extent, but I also, I've always been someone, I do think the weather does make an impact, but I think if you're able to just go out there, y'all are both in the same weather. Sure, we practice in it more, live in it more, and we're adjusted to it more here for sure. But I think once you're on that field, I would assume, because I'm not a Division I football player, but I would assume once you're on the field, it kind of becomes secondary. Sure, you'll feel the hits a little harder. The balls are going to be a little tougher to catch, but I think in the moment, you're kind of not thinking about it as much. So I think it will have an effect to a small certain extent, but I don't think it's going to win us the game or anything.
Yeah, it will have an effect if we're the ones doing the hitting.
Yeah.
That's where the cold,
a
cold game doesn't do you a whole lot of favors if you're going to be the less physical team.
Yeah.
If you're the less physical team in a cold game, to your point, it's going to hurt a lot more because you're just absorbing hits rather than giving them. And that's the other part of this game is as much as it is, the Emmett Johnson run game, to me, it's just kind of across the board physicality. That's how you have to beat USC. That's how Notre Dame did it. I think that's how Illinois as well was earlier in the year. They got a win over Michigan, but I thought Michigan had some opportunities, but they weren't able to convert. And then again, USC, they start putting points up in a hurry. Michigan's got to go away from Haynes. They got to put Underwood and force him to put the ball in the air. And then the score kind of got out of hand. I think it was like a 31-13 finish, maybe 31-14. But you have to lean on USC constantly. And you have to do it through, I think, pretty long possessions at times, if that's what's warranted. If you got the run game going with Emmett Johnson, keep that team on the sideline and keep them cool. Because to your point, they won't feel the cold if they're out there playing the game. But if you got an offensive drive going, you keep sending those guys to the sideline. And again, if our defense can finish and get some hits, especially on tackling, then you like our chances a lot more. Concerns on defense when it comes to tackling before we go to break.
Ooh. I would say concern is probably not the word I'd use. I definitely want to, like you're saying, you want to see more of a physicality type of brand out there today. So I think it's something that could be elevated for sure. And I do hope they do take that step today, but I'm expecting them to kind of tighten it up. Hopefully today is what I would expect.
Yeah. And just finish plays, because we've had that. Minnesota is a pretty good example of it, where, you make the wrong call, or they just had the right play call versus that defense, and there's an easy 10 yards, but instead of 10 yards, they get 70 because you missed a couple of tackles in the process. And versus USC, I mean, they got some freak athletes out there. They're going to try to make you guys miss. So if you got to be fundamental there, break it down. And just like I said, you got to finish those plays, because in these cold games, if you want the cold to be a factor, because I don't think it's going to be, any chance of rain or anything like that. I think it's just going to be the cold with a little bit of wind. You got to be the ones doing the hitting. With that being said, we got to throw it to break here. We got one more segment on the other side. This segment was sponsored by Select Plumbing. Again, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. All right, we got one more segment. And again, we'll open up the text line whenever you guys want us to break down or just give your opinions. 402-464-5685. Don't go anywhere. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Come watch the Lincoln Stars on November 7th as the Fargo Force come to town for $5 Friday. That means $5 mezzanine tickets, $5 nachos, $5 mixed drinks, and $5 off a purchase of $20 or more. It's $5 Friday with the Lincoln Stars at the Icebox on Friday, November 7th versus the Fargo Force. Get your tickets today at lincolnstars.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by A1 Automotive.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. 402-464-5685. We do got one on there we'll get to. You guys can text in any final second thoughts. That is the Starter Heyman text line. 402-464-5685. Facebook, YouTube, X, Al, Channel 961. This segment, the final one, sponsored by A1 Automotive. Always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, and now at 5110 State Hill Drive. All right, we only got a little bit of time here left, and let's get to the text line here. This one from Rudy, specifically to you. 3397 says, question for Rudy. Let's try not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but he says, do you see Raiola as a legit NFL QB someday?
Oh, I think he has potential to be there. I was talking to some of my buddies about this yesterday, actually, so maybe it might be one of them. I don't know. But I think he has potential and talent to be there. I don't think right now, if this was his senior year going into the draft, I don't think he's a top draft pick right now. But I think he does have the tools. I think he's taking the learning steps. He took a leap from freshman year to sophomore year, as we're seeing. He's constantly getting better. Interceptions are going down. I think he has the potential and talent to be there. I wouldn't say as of right now I'm putting the money in on that, but he's more talented than I think the rest of the country does give him credit for at times.
Yeah, and this is one where if he's going to be any of that, this is a big game.
Yes.
You know, and I kind of mentioned it before. This to me is a big game for Dylan Raiola just to control it. You know, I'm not asking for crazy numbers, 4 touchdowns, 300 plus yards. I just want a game where you keep the interceptions to 0 would be phenomenal, but also you just make the easy passes when they're there. You don't hold on to the ball. If it's not there, I'd much rather see you just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Or, if there's 2 yards, you can run forward and fall forward for 2 yards. But again, with USC, for how good they are on offense, we can't squander opportunities.
No.
And if we have a big special teams moment, which feels kind of likely, whether it's a big return, a great punt, and, they got to punt it pinned in their own end zone and we get favorable field position, say at the 50, we got to be better there. Yeah. And a lot of it doesn't all just fall in. Obviously, Dylan Raiola, guy's got to get open. The offensive line has to block for him. But if he can have that game manager type of control in this game, I like Nebraska's chances a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. Like you're saying, too, take advantage of what they're going to give you. Because at the end of the day, we do have the talent to compete with these teams, absolutely. but it's usually going to come down, like you're saying, some of these just possessions that the elite teams in the country aren't squandering. We have to figure out how to get to those points too.
Yeah, we got PacFan72 saying Huskers spent so much time looking for pass rushers that they neglected the interior of the D line. They are paying for it now. Who do you think they will look at next season on the recruiting trail, or is there some defensive tackles on the roster to take over? You need dominant defensive tackles in the Big Ten. You're absolutely right. The recruiting trail, it'd be great if I could just, and give Munson or one of those guys a phone call. I'm not really sure what they're looking at in the future, but I mean, as of right now, you're just not looking at a lot. I mean, maybe guys like just looking at some of the freshmen, some of the younger guys that maybe eventually can pop out. Hofkin David, you've been hearing a lot about Van Poppel forever, but it just hasn't really come to fruition. I don't know what the answer is for that defensive front. And with Tony White leaving, John Butler taking over, he took a hit. Yeah. Replacing Ty and Nash was a big task. So it's also a little bit tough when you're comparing those two, but it certainly has been a weakness.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I completely agree. Like that talent drop off, losing coach to Florida State. Like it's going to have some growing pains there, but I do think they understand that as well. Like I do think it should be, and I hope it is a point of emphasis when they are on this recruiting trail coming up, or at least at some point try to hit that portal whenever we get to that point in the season and maybe find somebody there. But I agree. Like that's something that you knew you were going to take a hit on. You got to have some answers for it, at least when you get the chance to move on from it. So
they're pretty young.
Yeah.
The defense in general is just not necessarily, the secondary's definitely got a lot more experience, but yeah, it's been an issue. I'm not saying it's definitely not an issue. I'd love to see what they have, hopefully in the future. But hey, with Matt Rule's extension, it sounds like that was part of the plan, was a little bit of extra funding when it comes to this upcoming round of portal players. And I don't know if you're looking at the teams who are looking for a head coach. Florida, you got, Florida, LSU, Penn State, Arkansas, Oklahoma State. All these schools, there's going to be a lot of players that come out of this as well. So I think that was a big part of that extension was there's going to be a big group of good athletes coming through with all the head coaching, the coaching carousel that's going on. So hopefully I'd imagine they'll patch up some of that there. Because right now, versus USC maybe doesn't worry you as much because they for the pass pro. It would be great if we can get some pressure. But versus a team like Michigan, we saw it where we're kind of getting pushed around. Minnesota, we saw it in a major way.
Yeah.
And I think they even played worse than what they were capable of in that one. So it is just a big issue there. Weather, we already talked about weather. Defense, though, I mean, if you want to stop Maeva, who's been electric all year, and I should give you his exact stats. He's got 145 for 213, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's over 2,000 passing yards on the year already at 2,180. How do you stop this USC defense if you're taking the role of John Butler or this USC offense?
Yeah, I don't know. I obviously his interception numbers aren't as high as our secondaries kind of licked their chops over, but I think like that's going to be a big point of emphasis today. Obviously, he's a great athlete and everything else, but I think it's going to come down to how well our secondary, obviously, like we've said too, they have so many electric guys they can kind of just dump it out to and make some plays with. But I think if our secondaries are able to step it up and kind of just apply more pressure, kind of how we saw them at the start of the season too, I think if they can play at that kind of caliber, just keep things clamped up, it's going to come down to a lot more than just them. But I think for containing him as a quarterback, I think you have to put so much pressure on these wide receivers today.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be the theme. I agree with everyone who's been saying this all week. It will be a problem if it does not happen, is getting pressure on the quarterback. Unmasked Tester chimes in 34-17. He says USC gets the win. We won't be able to get to their quarterback, and that's a big problem. It absolutely is a big problem. I hope I'm wrong and that they do find some success there. You heard John Butler talking about it in that Minnesota game in particular, where he had a play where I can't remember where it exactly was. I want to say maybe in the second quarter where they were aggressive, it didn't work out. And that's where Taylor had a huge run and he kind of said at the podium, he got away from his game plan a little bit on being aggressive. This is one versus USC where you're going to have to stay aggressive. I think you're going to have to really force some pressure in there because you can try the patient game, but he's too good to where if you give him time, he will find an opening. He's got great athletic wide receivers that'll work back to the ball if they see a play's breaking down. And if that first, route doesn't work, they're athletic enough to come back to the ball. And Maeva's athletic enough to stay up on his feet and scramble out of the pocket when necessary. So if you don't got contain on him, he's going to hurt you for it. If you're not getting pressure up the middle or at least maintaining that wall so he can't just step through the middle and run forward, it's going to be a huge problem. Do you trust Nebraska's defense to get some pressure? Because Maeva does not struggle without pressure. all his interceptions, I think that just about every single one of them has been through pressure situations.
I would obviously assume, and you kind of expect that this was an emphasis for them all week coming into this, but like the issue's been all day that we've been saying is just that execution of detail. And so I don't want to say I don't trust them, but I think they haven't shown enough to this point right now to be like, oh yeah, they're going to go out there and do it. But I hope they do. I want them to. And I think if they did make that one of their biggest points of emphasis on the line, like this entire week, I think it probably starts off strong like that. Genuinely, I do think it comes out. The defensive line comes out, puts pressure on them early on, but I can see them taking the foot off the gas just as the game goes on, as they get worn out, and then kind of fading back to what we've seen a little more of.
The Michigan State, that might have been one of the better games where Nebraska was able to get pressure on Childs, and you saw that it paid huge dividends for us. I don't know if we win that game, honestly. Actually, their backup might have been playing better than Dane Giles, but we got to him early, and he had some moments where he did run in for a touchdown, but we got some hits on him that at least made him reconsider.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw him kind of battling through that pain throughout the rest of that game. So another one where you're going to have those opportunities. You're going to have to make him pay, even if, it doesn't, I'm not saying you want to take him out of the game or anything, but that has to be a factor. And in a lot of these other games where luckily Minnesota didn't really have a big threat in Lindsey, but even he was able to find some yardage there. Yeah. This is another time where we're getting elite, athletic quarterback who can use his legs to hurt Nebraska. Sorsby hurt us for it. Childs, who I thought that was the best time we dealt with a mobile quarterback. Early on we did good. Later in the game, we kind of lost it a little bit and then got back onto it. But this will probably be, would this be the best quarterback so far that we faced? Underwood had a lot of hype for obvious reasons. I think Sorsby is actually the right answer.
Yeah.
But Maeve is not too far away.
I would have it exactly like that. Like, I think he is an extremely talented quarterback for sure. Like, he's going to give us some fits today. It just comes down to how disciplined they're going to be and how attentive to the detail, the game plan, the scheme, and all that's going to come into a factor. But I agree. I think he's probably the second best quarterback we've seen up until this point.
Yeah, and good case that he may be the second best quarterback we faced all year. We'll see what Nico does then down there in UCLA, and obviously Drew Aller's hurt for Penn State. But again, it's just a massive challenge for this defense. Secondary, pretty going to be checked in a big way tonight. Sierra, right? I'd imagine is going to have his hands full. Is this a game where Nebraska absolutely has to come over positive in the turnover margin if we expect to win?
I think so. I really do. I think if they can win the turnovers and even the penalty battles and they're throwing those in there, I think that they have a chance to really do it. I think, like when you're playing great teams like this, like you said, you can't squander the opportunities. And I think turnovers are kind of included in there. Obviously, you got to make those happen versus they fall into your lap. But I think this talented secondary has the chance to go out there, apply pressure, and get these interceptions or even fumbles if we see those tonight. But I do think if you want to win today, that has to be at least a minor, not as big key to winning, but I think it's got to be up there for sure.
It'll be good for the crowd. I know that.
Oh,
much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this crowd's, you want to use the crowd to its fullest effect. You got to do some good things on the field for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And on the bright side, special teams have been doing that in a big way. Where there's been that Northwestern game was the best example. We fumble it heading into halftime. Kind of everyone feeling grossed out, even though Nebraska still felt like they had, good control of the game. Although it was started at risk there, you get a huge special teams touchdown, 98 yards from Williams. Yeah. Everyone, breathed a sigh of relief. Northwestern kept fighting, but you had that huge momentum play that certainly shifted it back into Nebraska's favor. So, turnovers, whatever it may be, special teams plays, or just, executing a good offense or a good defense. You got to get the crowd in it somehow. And I do think there's some big opportunities on special teams. I'll be curious to see how USC likes to tackle our special teams, though, because the Lincoln Riley, he put it out there pretty early on as like a point of emphasis of things you're looking at in Nebraska, not for verbatim, but he called out the special teams right away. So they're fully aware of it. They came off of bye week versus Notre Dame and they lost bye week. They've been looking at Nebraska these past 2 weeks in a row, really having some major success with special teams. And obviously over the course of the year, also feels like, what USC does to attack it. And if they're going to be ready for it, I don't want to make you guess if there's going to be a special teams play, but I'll ask you more on Archie Wilson for the punting. How big is punting going to be in this one?
Yeah, I think if we're not expecting, I'm not me personally, just a scoring onslaught from Dylan Raiola. I don't expect him to go out there and have 5 touchdowns or anything, respectfully. But if we are going to have 4-and-out drives, which will happen, I think he's definitely going to play a factor because for how talented this USC offense is, the more yards they got to pick up, the better we're going to be just in position. So I think he's going to come up huge. I think he has to. I think you got to be hitting on all cylinders against the ranked team anytime you get the chance to. So I think he has to step up, and he has been, but I think he's got to be a key factor today.
Yeah, I envision, hopefully we don't need him at all, but if we do, if we can move the chains enough to, I like our odds if we're able to pin USC in their own end zone and have that crowd fully dialed in and rocking and see, okay, how does Maeva handle this? When he's got the place rocking, you're backed up in your end zone. Can you stay cool and collected not to make an error? Because, versus Colorado, we had a great field position early. Shedeur Sanders, you need to make a play here. Pick six, Tommy Hill. And 28-7 at halftime. Unfortunately, Nebraska didn't play 4 quarters in that one. So the score, we might have scored one more time. Either way, we didn't do a whole lot. But the first half, you could just feel the crowd. The crowd was hyped. It was ready to go. But Nebraska had to make the play. Nebraska makes the play. When you got them trapped in their end zone, they can feel the pressure, literally just because the place is shaking. And they take advantage of it. And then it just felt like the crowd swallowed up Colorado. To where the momentum was completely out of touch. And even when they had a big play, it just wasn't enough to get that crowd to shut up. And that's kind of what I'm hoping here. So that's why I think special teams, I don't know where it's going to come from, whether it's, a kick return, a punt return, or Archie Wilson just doing some magic and putting those guys pinned at the 1 or inside the 10. I'd expect a little bit of that. It has to go our way for us to win this game. But I'm just on, like I said, I'm at about a 5 confidence level. I'm not sure what team's going to come out of here, if they're totally locked in or if they're maybe caught, wanting to put on a show, to use Luke Lindmeier's words, where they kind of lost sight of it. Which team are expecting to come out?
I expect them to come out tougher than I think I've even given them credit for. I think they are going to come out. Yes, it's a huge deal to have this game. It's, that you're going to be a national talking point. Genuinely, everyone knows that. At least as far as Nebraska goes, it's what everyone's been talking about all week. It's everywhere. And so how many eyes are on this game, but you also know at that same time that you are a good football team right now. You're a respectable football team, I'll say. And so you got to come out there and you got to know you can't just talk the talk. You can't do all this extravagant stuff and not back it up. And I think that's going to be in their head in a good way. And we got something to prove. Let's go out there and do it, not get caught up in the lights. And I think they do come out stronger than I think. So I'm expecting them to not just go out there and just come out and have fun and just have a great showing and not win the game. I think they're going to come out stronger than I think. So
I think so as well. One of those reasons, I'll ask you, how important do you think was it to get this Matt Rule extension done with? I know not everyone's like, I love it. In my mind, in my opinion, I just think with the coaching carousel that's going on right now and kind of seeing how I feel like there's more details on attacking this upcoming portal. And I think Rule used it a little bit as leverage to get more money for his football program. So I don't necessarily hate it. The numbers don't make my jaw hit the floor. They're nothing too crazy. They might be crazy, but you look around college football, that's just what the numbers are. But I think it was huge to kind of get this done. What do you say on just the thoughts? Getting this thing put away with, so Matt Rule's at least going to be our head coach this entire year, and then most likely next year as well, unless chaos happens.
Yeah. No, I think it's huge. I think they did it at the right time, too. I was skeptical of why now, why what, but I think if he does go on to have – if Nebraska goes on to have a successful season and just kind of win out, like kind of an expected way, how we were kind of talking about how these matchups afterwards are just not as strong. I think if he were to finish on a great run, his price goes higher, the interest goes up. Like, there's so much more risk of not signing him in a sense, but at the same time, now that you are signed, this is a perfect time for you to go out there, get this win, and just kind of prove to people that, hey, like, the record's what it is as far as him against ranked opponents. But I think this is a great time right now. I think you did it the right week. Hopefully he can back it up. If not, we're going to have some angry Husker fans, I'm assuming. But I think it makes sense. If everything, hindsight's 2020, but if everything goes right, I think it made perfect sense.
Yeah, if it, if tonight doesn't go well and you want to vent about it, you can call in at the post-game show and with Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman. Just we can't swear on there. But I'm really in a camp. I'll give my score prediction now. And we'll break it down a little bit more. 34-33. I got a little bit. 33 might be weird. I'm going for scorigami, something crazy. Miss PAT. We'll see what happens. But a close 1-point victory where I think special teams will play a huge factor in it. But when this game has a lot behind it because you do extend Matt Rule. What a better statement for Matt Rule to make that you guys made the right decision.
Yeah.
By beating a USC team in a night game, or not only is it a ranked opponent in a night game, it is a spotlight game. You're gonna have a ton of eyes on you. Everyone knows you just got this extension at the University of Nebraska. You've been hyping up since you got here about how great this place is. Really speaking of it as a sleeping giant. Here's your opportunity to tell everyone I made the right call. This place is ready to get rocking.
Yeah. I completely agree. Like, that's exactly how I'm seeing it too. You have so much, not to prove in a sense, but this is where you can kind of shut up everyone who thinks it's been a bad idea to extend. And this is where you can just win over everybody genuinely. I think if they do win, my prediction is probably going to be something similar, not low scoring, a close scoring game. I have Nebraska winning it if things go right, 27-24. So I'm with you on that one. But
yeah, I don't think anyone really sees a blowout.
No, yeah.
I would love to be wrong.
Yeah, that would be electric. I think it's going to be obviously a tough matchup, but I think they can pull away from it if all cylinders are hitting, like we're saying, every facet of the game. I think Nebraska has the talent to pull it off.
For the fun of it, full Kool-Aid, how it does become a blowout. I mean, it's obvious. You guys have been saying on the text line, on YouTube. We've all been saying it here in the studio as well. You got to go hit me, Ava. Not legally, nothing dirty, but a clean hit. If he wants to use his legs, you have to punish him. If he wants to sit back in the pocket, and if, our guys in the secondary hold up, again, coverage sacks, I say it every pregame show, they're going to be out there. USC is not a quick pass game. They will, obviously, it's in their arsenal, but they like taking those deep shots. If you guys can lock up on those throws and we can actually get to that pressure, that's where his game starts to fall apart. Very similar to Dylan Rail. Dylan Rail looks great. He starts getting pressure on him, and then, everyone wants to talk about it. We should put in TJ Lateef.
Yeah.
No, that's not the solution. We just need to get Dylan Rail some more time.
Yep.
So, the key to the game, very obviously for me, it's the same on both sides. In the trenches, you got to be able to get pressure, and you got to be able to protect the quarterback. Rudy, what say you? Give me 2 keys to the game real quick.
I'm going to go Emmett Johnson, being Emmett Johnson.
I like it.
And then I'm going to go controlling the clock, too. Like you said, longer we can keep him on the sidelines, better chance we got.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Again, this segment was sponsored by A1 Automotive. Always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, now at 5110 State Hill Drive. Appreciate you guys listening. Be sure to tune in as soon as the clock hits 0. And let's hope we can talk about a Husker win as they get ready to kick off versus USC.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps.